when the cycle of reincarnation invades. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 51. A new group has been created. If you are interested, please join it. Reincarnation Invasion Circle. 535,327,460. There is no other purpose for this group. It is mainly to allow readers to have a place to discuss the plot and chat. If you have any opinions and insights on the subsequent plot of the book, you can also communicate directly with the group owner through this group, including any good dungeon recommendations, etc. Asterisk, anyone who is interested can add it. And by the way, I would like to ask for monthly tickets and follow-up reading. PS, I asked the editor to follow up today, and it was terrible. Please support it. Oh. Chapter 52. I got double the money for a reason. Please read and collect. On this day, the forum of the Reincarnators was flooded with comments. The birth of a new secret realm had already made all the Reincarnators extremely concerned. Especially this time, there were ordinary people entering it. This made these Reincarnators even more concerned. You know, it happens from time to time that ordinary people are involved in secret realms. Although most people can't even see the entrance and exit of the secret realm without wearing the reincarnation watch for synchronization. But there are always some special people, coincidental environments, etc. The world is so big, there are many coincidences. And these ordinary people involved in the secret realm are like extra money for the reincarnators. As long as they successfully rescue these ordinary people, they can get a lot of rewards. But this time, it happened that 2 new reincarnators entered the secret realm. This is like throwing a huge opportunity away in front of them. Who wouldn't care? But when the result came out, it shocked everyone. Pig, wolf, wasp, damn. Is this world crazy? Or am I crazy? A trainee reincarnator who only had one first experience actually got an S-level evaluation in an adventure level secret realm. Watermelon warrior, I told you, the adventure level secret realm is not enough for Uncle Abin, so we have to give him a few burdens to slow him down and increase the difficulty of the game. For us, it is a life or death secret realm, but for him, it is really just a game. Oh, I feel like my years of experience have been wasted. With a dull Dante, didn't you notice? 6 ordinary people successfully came out alive, and only the trainee reincarnationist died in it. I guess blindly that this reincarnationist must have gone against Abin. That is to say, if you believe in me, I will take you to fly with ordinary people, and if you don't believe in me, I will also let you die with the reincarnationist. Waist-length shemale once can be said to be a coincidence, but the first time it was a killing level secret realm air level, and the second time it was an adventure level secret realm S level. It seems that this Abin is really capable. At Abin, cooperate with me next time. I promise to believe you. Asterisk. Oh. After the reminder from the waist-length shemale, everyone finally reacted. That's right, one time could be considered a coincidence, but 2 consecutive times with such amazing results. No one's luck can be this good. In other words, he really reached such a high level with his own ability, especially with such high evaluations twice, and the bonus of 6 ordinary people's reincarnation points. Even if this Abin is a pig, he must have a pair of wings piled up with so many reincarnation points, and become a flying pig. More importantly, his identity. Apprentice reincarnationist. Some smart reincarnationists figured out the key points in an instant and quickly logged off to report to their family and relatives. If there are relatives whose children have become reincarnationists, they must keep an eye on the man named Abin during the training. If you meet him, don't let go. Training with him, as long as you listen to him, you can easily pass the level and get merits and reincarnation points. Everyone is a newcomer, and they entered the same level of secret realm. Take care of each other. Even those who don't owe favors have received huge benefits. In fact, it's not just the reincarnationists. Even the leaders of the organizations in Beishu City were shocked by Lin Bin's performance again. The Supernatural Association. Good boy, no wonder Raymond has so much confidence in you. It turns out that you are not a coincidence, but a real person with real talent. Could it be he is the protagonist of this main world? Feng Qingshan also knows the immortal cultivation system and naturally knows about luck. Although it is ethereal and illusory, luck does exist. Could it be that this kid is a person with great luck in this world? Otherwise, why are the two battles so amazing? In the Technology Enhancement Association, this kid is really beyond my expectations. The evaluation of the adventure level secret realm S level, even if I go to this secret realm in person, at most this evaluation, right? After all, it is a completely unfamiliar world, and I'm carrying a few burdens. On the inside of the table, on the gorgeous sofa-style office chair, a girl in a fur coat was reclining. She was about 20 years old, with a pretty face, but an indifferent expression. A pair of over 1 meter long legs rested on the table, with an arrow tang sword on his legs. Although it was not unsheathed, the room was already filled with chill. She asked, K88, you didn't have a bad relationship with this guy before, did you? K88 stood respectfully in front of the office chair. Although he was a robot, he was convinced by this man who could beat him with a sword. He said respectfully, no, I remember your instructions, President. Even if I can't win him over, I have to make friends with him. If necessary, I can invite him to join the team, to enter the secret realm together. That's right. The secret realm is ever changing, and has countless types. It's not something that a single type of enhancer can get through. You can't be sure when he will need help from others. This kid chose martial arts, but martial arts has its limits. Sooner or later he will switch to or study other systems concurrently. Technology is undoubtedly the most suitable for concurrent study. I will go to the World Cross Bureau later to show my appreciation for him. Yes, President. K88 showed a strange look on his face, as if he wanted to laugh. Others are all in the world, but their president is willful and directly replaces it with the word cross. The girl suddenly showed a playful smile on her face and sighed. This time, our Beishu city is likely to have monster. The Superpower Club, the Telekinesis Research Institute. Everyone temporarily summoned their capable subordinates to discuss matters related to Lin Bin. There is no doubt that Lin Bin has once again refreshed his image in their minds this time, and there will be no coincidences this time. Then we must be cautious. At this time, Lin Bin had already followed Raymond to the school office as soon as possible. The office of the principal of the university, but it has been temporarily closed because there is a secret realm next to it. After experiencing this disaster and sleeping in the open for several days, even if the principal of the university has 300 courage, he dare not work here again. This place will be used as the entrance and exit of the secret realm, and it will be completely sealed, and special people will be assigned to guard it. Lin Bin immediately informed Raymond of Deng Yang's experience. He also took off the reincarnation table left by Deng Yang from Yu Huashan and gave it to Raymond and told him what happened in the secret realm. He said, that's why they each had a suitcase, and I took 2 suitcases. Deng Yang begged me to let him stay in that secret realm and told me that he was dead, but I'm not sure if doing so would violate the, rules of the reincarnation space. You did the right thing. After all, you are a latecomer and don't understand these things. Don't make decisions on your own when facing things you don't understand. Raymond said, everything he did is recorded in the reincarnation table. I will use this table to apply for him. If the reincarnation space allows, let him die in reality. If not, the system may issue a task to catch him back. The specific depends on how the system judges. However, because of your aftermath, his leak did not cause a big impact. Even if he is caught, he will not be severely punished. You can rest assured about this. Yes. By the way, have you collected enough information about this secret realm? Indeed, a lot. Speaking of this, Lin Bin suddenly became excited. After all, this involves his double reward, especially since Director Lei is so generous. He will definitely not let him suffer. Chapter 53. You are not from this world. There was no need to hold back when facing Raymond. Lin Bin described his experience in detail, and for the indescribable parts, he used his extremely meticulous observation to replace them. When he heard that Yu Huashan was actually planning to pretend to be a reincarnationist and team up with Lin Bin to complete the task, his expression had become extremely solemn. He nodded and said, Abin, you did the right thing. Fortunately, you saw through Yu Huashan and killed him. Otherwise, if Yu Huashan really came into the real world, I'm afraid many innocent people would have died because of this turmoil. Lin Bin was surprised and said, can he really come in? Do you know why reincarnationists are not allowed to leak real information in the secret realm? Obviously, there will be no punishment for leaking it, and if it is the white secret realm, they will sooner or later integrate into our real world, and in this way our territory will be more vast. This is obviously a good thing, but why can't the news be leaked to them in advance? Have you ever considered the reasons behind this? Raymond suddenly asked an irrelevant question. Lin Bin shook his head honestly. It's very simple, just to prevent someone from sneaking away. Sneaking away? Lin Bin asked in surprise. That is to say, if I really agreed to Yu Huashan's words, can he really enter the real world through the tunnel? Raymond sighed. It is very difficult for aliens to counter-invade the real world from the secret realm. In the past, even if reincarnations were killed by aliens, it basically had no impact on the overall situation. But if aliens get the information of reincarnations, there are many alert ones among them. After killing the reincarnations, they will take away their watches, and then through various coincidences, counter-invade the real world. Lin Bin asked, what you mean? Isn't Yu Huashan the first person to have the same idea? Anyone who can invade the real world from the secret realm must be a wise person, even among the extraordinary people, with strength, character, luck, and determination. Once such a person comes to the real world, it will be a huge trouble if not handled properly. Although many of them will join the official. For example, the president of Abin City Science and Technology Association is actually a time traveler who is fighting against the invasion, but a considerable number of these time travelers are still hostile to the real world, which can be said to be a huge uncontrollable risk. Raymond sighed. Each secret realm is a separate world, and there are naturally outstanding people inside. With a large base, it is not surprising that this situation will occur. Lin Bin asked in astonishment, time traveler? He inexplicably thought of himself. So, my own attributes are actually organized? Yes, these people also have their own organizations. At your current level, this is not something you need to worry about. You just need to know that you have done very well. This Yu Huashan is meticulous and ruthless. He can use the information obtained by torture so freely. If it weren't for his special physique that revealed the flaws, it would be difficult to deal with him once he came to the real world. Lin Bin asked expectantly, is this a credit? Lei Meng looked at Lin Bin with a smile, and his cold expression looked like a mockery in the eyes of people who didn't know him. He said, what do you think? Oh. Lin Bin immediately understood that this was originally his job. Our director Lei is easy to talk to, but it doesn't mean he is soft-hearted. Let me tell you your judgment first. Does this world belong to the white secret realm or the red secret realm? White. Lin Bin said seriously, although the court is dark and corrupt, it is still possible to communicate. In particular, there is a saying in that dynasty that the emperor guards the country's gates and the king dies for the country. It can be seen that, although the Ming dynasty is incompetent, it is not rotten to the core. There are many loyal and righteous people inside. If there is external intervention, it may be able to correct the chaos. This is completely different from the threat of zombies. Okay, write down your discovery, the rules of that world, and the reasons why you believe it is white, and give it to me. Go back to work overtime tonight, and I want it tomorrow. Yes. Lin Bin said loudly. Well, and the reward given to you by the world administration this time. Lin Bin's eyes lit up, and he looked at Raymond in surprise. Raymond said, don't think about it. It can't be the same as last time. Although you successfully rescued many people, the system has rewarded you with reincarnation points, and this secret realm is a white secret realm, which is not as dangerous as the zombie secret realm. So to the World Bureau, your contribution is much lower than last time. Director Lei, give it as you see fit. As long as you can give it, I won't mind. Don't worry, it must be what you need. I will give it to you when you hand in the report tomorrow morning. Raymond pondered for a moment, tapping the table lightly with his fingertips, and said carefully, next, there are some personal matters about you. Abin, did you have any strange feelings in the secret realm this time? Lin Bin said, what do you mean by strange feelings? For example, an inexplicable chill, or, well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll ask you directly, among the 6 ordinary people you rescued this time, has anyone ever expressed malice towards you explicitly or implicitly? What do you mean? You brought them all back, which is certainly a testament to your extraordinary ability, but doesn't it mean that none of them held you back? Deng Yang did, but he has paid the price, and he confessed to me in the end, and his malicious intentions should be different from the malicious intentions you, Director Lei, refer to, right? Lin Bin looked at Lei Meng, and said in surprise, could it be that there might be some tricks among these people, who were involved in the secret realm? In fact, it's not just these people. I originally suspected that there were some tricks in this secret realm as well. Once could be called a coincidence, but twice or 3 times, it can't be as simple as a coincidence. Lei Meng frowned and said, but from what you said, they all cooperated with you very well, which was beyond my expectation. Lin Bin said in surprise, Director Lei means, is this secret realm secretly controlled by someone? Can the entrance to the secret realm be controlled as well? Lei Meng shook his head and said, you'd better pray that there is really someone secretly controlling it and wants to harm you, otherwise, the secret realm will be blocked at the door just to collect the bonus. How bad will your luck be? By then, I'm afraid that, when I get up to go to the bathroom, I will have to go into the secret realm and come back. Lin Bin was speechless and felt that what Director Lei said made sense. I can say that, and I have evidence. Raymond pointed to the reception chair opposite and motioned Lin Bin to sit down. Lin Bin sat down as he was told. Raymond sipped a cup of tea and let out a long breath. The solemn expression made Lin Bin unconsciously straighten his waist, feeling that such a solemn attitude must be serious business. Raymond asked, Abin, you have proved your ability and loyalty with your actual actions, so I will not hide some things from you. Let me ask you, becoming a reincarnation requires 9 years of cultural foundation and 3 years of physical training. Even so, those who can pass the examination to become a reincarnation are only 1 in 100, the best of the best. This difficulty can almost be said to be astonishingly high, but you had no ability and no connections at that time. How do you think you became a reincarnation? Lin Bin was stunned when he heard this and replied, Miss Zhu said that she was attracted by my writing style. There are so many people with writing skills. Didn't I just say it? With a 9-year cultural foundation, who can become a reincarnation can write well. Lin Bin, brother Lei can't. Lei Meng paused, and a bit of anger and shame appeared on his stiff face. He said angrily, he was lucky. I helped him predict the questions during the written test. I didn't have much hope. I just randomly predicted a few questions. Who knew that he got all the questions right? As a result, he passed the most difficult part of the written test. Then, with his own ability, it was not difficult for him to become a reincarnationist, but he is a special case. Brother Lei's luck is so good. Lin Bin was overjoyed when he heard it. So Lei-chan actually has the physique of a koi. Thumbs up. This teammate must be caught tightly. Don't change the subject. Lei Meng said, you should understand what I mean. Your writing may be better, but is it really good enough to make an exception? And the review is so simple, it's as if all the procedures have been completed, waiting for you to come to the door. Abin, don't say you are really not curious at all. Lin Bin fell silent when he heard it. After a long time, he smiled bitterly and said, I was indeed curious, but first of all, I'm just a lonely man. Apart from owning an old 2-story building in the downtown area and counting the days until it is demolished, I have no other outstanding qualities. Later, I cleared the zombie secret realm and you valued me very much, including the eternal life secret. If you hadn't given me special treatment, I might not have been able to get it. From this point of view, I'm very grateful to you. But that was after you showed your ability. For talents, the superiors will always look at them with new eyes, and the tilt of resources is only a part of it. Raymond said, if I had known that you had such outstanding abilities, I would have pulled you into the team of reincarnationists, even if I had given you the green light. But at the beginning, we really didn't have any good intentions. Then your bad intentions mean? Raymond said, because we suspect that you are not from this world. Chapter 54. This world has a strong sense of anti-time travel. 3 updates today. Linbin's face remained unchanged upon hearing this, but his heart was instantly in turmoil. He thought, has my identity as a time traveler been exposed? Damn. As expected, this is a world that is often traveled by aliens. Are the people here so aware of anti-travel? They caught me now? Linbin thought that the next step would be to smash the cup as a signal, and 300 swordsmen would rush out together to cut him into pieces. But who knew that Raymond shook his head and said, fortunately, you have cleared the suspicion. Linbin, what? I have cleared it? Although because of this suspicion, you have obtained the identity of the reincarnation you have been thinking about day and night. We have cleared your suspicion and obtained an extremely outstanding talent in addition, which can barely be regarded as the best of both worlds. But no matter what, we did not have good intentions towards you at the beginning. Regarding this, Linbin, on behalf of the entire World Debris Emergency Alarm Bureau, I would like to express my most sincere apologies to you. As he said this, Raymond stood up. He bowed solemnly to Linbin. How did you clear my suspicion? Linbin did not help him, but asked in shock, how can you be sure that I'm not a time traveler? Have you heard of the name Zhao Minimum? Linbin shook his head. What about Zukijiro? Linbin continued to shake his head. Then Sun Zitong, Zhang Zehe, Lulinlin. Have you heard of these names? Linbin said honestly, none. Then do you remember the day when your parents had the accident? Hearing this, Linbin was silent for a while and said, I only remember that there were flames and explosions everywhere. My parents dragged me and my sister to escape, and just as we left the car exploded, and then we were lying in the hospital. In fact, in that incident, these 5 people, plus you and your sister Linzu, you are the only 7 survivors of that disaster. Raymond said, and that attack was to capture a time traveler who killed the reincarnationist in the secret realm, obtained the reincarnation watch, and took the opportunity to escape back to the real world. Then what? After the attack affected ordinary people, the time traveler disappeared. Even if all the territories were blocked, we couldn't find any trace of the time traveler. In the end, we made a judgment that the time traveler was hiding among the 7 people who survived the incident. Linbin was shocked and said, how could he hide? In the battle of wits and courage between the time traveler and the reincarnationist, we don't even know his gender, height, or face, because every time he appears in a completely different form. According to our guess, he should have some magical props in his hands. Linbin said, so you suspected me before. 4 months ago, you suddenly seemed like a different person. Shouldn't we be suspicious? Linbin, so if I were the reincarnationist? Raymond said, if you were the time traveler, when you first entered the secret realm, you would never let go of such a good opportunity, and would definitely escape from the secret realm. At that time, even if you took off the reincarnation watch, you would not be able to get rid of Arlok. The reason why I forced Lei Jun, who doesn't like to use hot weapons, to bring the Desert Eagle Shiro was mainly to prevent you from killing him. After all, it is a dangerous job, and it is not easy to assign other people, so I can only let my younger brother do it. But brother Lei doesn't seem to know about this. His acting skills should not be so good. Raymond, so I didn't tell him. Linbin, this guy's he really didn't hesitate to pit his own brother. Poor Lei Jun, he is still worried about his F-level rating, but he didn't know that he had been set up by his elder brother. Linbin said, so I saved Lei Jun and completed the strategy. This cleared my innocence. He couldn't have been unaware that we already suspected that he was hiding among the 7 people. It was only a matter of time before he was exposed, so if he had a chance, he had no reason not to escape. You didn't escape, but put yourself in the halo, which was inconsistent with his previous style of doing things. Now, you are naturally less suspicious. Linbin took a deep breath. He didn't expect that there would be such a calculation behind his becoming a reincarnation. But unfortunately, they miscalculated one thing. I'm really a time traveler. Although I'm not the kind of time traveler you think, it seems that I have to be careful not to let this identity be exposed in the future. Linbin asked, what does this have to do with this secret realm? Zukijiro died, and the day after her death, you accidentally fell into the adventure level secret realm. Raymond said, I don't think this is a coincidence. I began to suspect that in addition to the official pursuit, there may be another organization that is also targeting the Traveser. They don't need to worry about whether they will accidentally hurt innocent people, and they don't even plan to find the real person, because they are sure that the Traveser is among the 7 of you, and they just need to kill all 7 of you. Lin Bin's face was already very solemn. Obviously, he didn't expect there was such a hidden meaning behind it. He asked, are there any props that can change the location of the entrance and exit of the secret realm? Raymond said, I don't know. The first time the secret realm came was more than 100 years ago. Think about it. For more than 100 years, hundreds or even thousands of worlds with different rules have impacted our world. It is incredible that we can protect our own territory and use the power of these secret realms for our own benefit. In comparison, the Free Federation next door, which is known as the strongest in Yuanxing, was in such chaos decades ago that it was unbearable to look at it. Lin Bin understood what Raymond meant. A world is influenced by countless worlds. No one can tell how many strange props there are. Maybe there really is one. Lin Bin asked, then why was that time traveler arrested? Even after so many years, they are still obsessed with it? Didn't you also say that some time travelers can hold important positions in the Reincarnation Association? Because he has a big secret that may endanger our China. But what exactly the secret is, even I don't know. I only know that this secret is of vital importance. In fact, if it weren't for the intelligent computer program of the reincarnation space that does not allow ordinary people to be attacked, I suspect that the people above would probably make the same decision. You mean, in order to kill me, the enemy specially opened the entrance to the secret realm, where I must exit, and even arranged manpower to kill me? That's what I think, but I didn't expect that my guess was wrong. They actually just arranged a secret realm to deal with you. In the end, they failed to kill you, but instead gave you a great merit. To be honest, I'm also very surprised. If they arranged a killer among ordinary people to target you secretly, even if you could pass the secret realm, you would probably fall into the hands of their own people. Raymond said, if I wanted to kill you, I would definitely arrange it this way, but I didn't expect them to. There are only 2 possibilities. The first possibility is that the organization is all idiots, and the second possibility is that they failed to find a suitable opportunity. Maybe it's the second one. Lin Bin said thoughtfully. Oh, there's one more thing. Raymond patted Lin Bin on the shoulder and said, when I knew you had mistakenly entered the adventure level secret realm, I noticed the waves behind it. In order to protect you, I took the initiative to ask someone to spread the news that you had previously soloed the killing level secret realm and helped you become famous. I wanted to hide your existence before, mainly because I was afraid that you would become famous at a young age and become complacent, leading to a tree standing out in the forest. But now you are being targeted by the enemy, and the other party has props that can control the entrance to the secret realm, which shows that their power must be considerable. I can only let you step to the front and into everyone's eyes. In this way, they will have many more restrictions if they want to take action, but this is tantamount to roasting you on the fire. He sighed. I didn't discuss such a big thing with you. I'm sorry. No. I should thank Director Lei for taking care of me. You are my subordinate. If I don't protect you, who will? Raymond sighed. Don't worry, this time I will help you apply for some life-saving props, which can be regarded as an insurance policy. A strange look suddenly appeared on his face, and he sighed. I used to feel sorry for Ajin's lack of ambition, and always thought how great it would be if he was a genius. But now that a genius like you has really appeared, I actually hope that you are more mediocre. After all, talented people are always surrounded by storms. It's better to say that it is because of the existence of storms that geniuses can grow. Lin Bin said with a smile. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55. Who doesn't want to hug a big thigh? When Lin Bin finished talking with Raymond and came out with 2 suitcases at the school gate, Wendy Yang had been waiting for a long time. Old Wendy, why are you here? Seeing Wendy Yang, Lin Bin instinctively recalled Raymond's warning just now. Among the 7 people, there may be a killer sent by the mysterious organization, just waiting for the right time to take your life. The killer didn't make a move, which doesn't mean that the killer doesn't exist. Deng Yang, who could have been the biggest suspect, was the first to be cleared of suspicion. Now seeing Wendy Yang, he couldn't help but be on guard instinctively, and then laughed at himself for overreacting. You know, Wendy Yang is his deskmate, and the two have been best friends for many years. He was also a little paranoid. Reward the great hero this time. Wendy Yang smiled and threw the suitcase directly to Lin Bin, who easily held it with his legs, turned the suitcase over with a slight tiptoe, stepped on it, and asked in surprise, "You are? My father donated 2 buildings in one go for my schooling. Do you think I need these 200,000? I come to collect the money purely to keep the money within the family, but it doesn't count as keeping the money within the family if I give it to you, right? Especially since you saved my life, I feel like I'm selling myself cheap if I reward you with 200,000. My life is worth at least 20 million, right?" Wendy Yang smiled and hooked his arm around Lin Bin's shoulder, saying, "But I won't ask my family for money. It's enough for my brothers to show their appreciation. There's no need to be so serious. Just consider it as my ticket to enter the secret realm for a 7-day tour. To be honest, if you can enter the secret realm and experience the customs and culture of another world up close by paying 200,000, I'm afraid the teams who want to participate will line up all the way from here to the capital. Actually, I already have 2. Then add another one to make it even better. Don't refuse. We are brothers. I will be angry if you are too distant." Wendy Yang patted Lin Bin on the shoulder and said, "Now that we have graduated, keep in touch, okay? Yeah, I got it. Okay, I've been out for so long, my parents must be worried. I have to go home and report my safety. This time I can brag to my dad." Waving his hand, Wei Yang turned and walked away. Looking at his back as he left, Lin Bin felt quite lonely. He and Wei Yang had a deep relationship because they were the same type of people. They were the kind of people who were open to each other and had deep feelings when they were together, but once they were apart, they might not call each other to report their safety for a year. Because no matter how much they talked about everything in real life, the unfamiliarity of having nothing to talk about on the phone would completely defeat the importance they attached to this friendship. Although they said they would keep in touch, they knew that the two of them would drift apart due to their different life trajectories. Lin Bin sighed and walked home. Lin Zhu had been waiting for a long time. When Lin Bin came back, he saw Lin Zhu sitting at the table with several exquisite side dishes on it. 3 cups chicken, sweet and sour pork ribs, beer duck and Westlake vine garfish. It must be mentioned that Lin Zhu's cooking skills are indeed quite amazing, and her cooking skills are even better than those of the chef of Zhuai Lao. There may also be a filter factor in eating dry food and raw water for a few days. At least, Lin Bin ate voraciously. He drank 3 bowls of rice, and even the soup in the plate was mixed with rice and swallowed into his stomach. Lin Bin then covered his stomach and said with satisfaction, "I feel like I'm finally alive." You ate the amount you used to eat in a day in one meal. After moving to the new house, Lin Zhu's whole person has become much more lively, no longer as lifeless as before. First of all, it is convenient to go out with an elevator. The threshold at the door of the old house made it impossible for her to leave the yard alone. Secondly, the landlady was also very warm-hearted. After discovering that Lin Bin had a sister who was unwell, she took extra care of her and asked about her well-being every day. This also allowed her to meet more strangers. Lin Zhu asked, "But didn't you tell me before that your scholarship was only 200,000? How did you get back 600,000? "Oh, I robbed 2 classmates," Lin Bin replied casually. Seeing Lin Zhu's dumbfounded expression, he laughed and said, "I was kidding. In fact, I helped 2 of my classmates a lot. They sent me. I haven't been home these few days because I was busy with this matter. I earned 600,000 in 7 days. Am I better at making money than our parents? Next time if this happens again, at least let me know that you are safe. Do you know how worried I was when you suddenly left for 7 days without any news? Sorry, I won't do it next time." This time I called you as soon as I had time. It's already 7 days later. Next time, at least tell me the time you will be back, otherwise, I won't be able to prepare. Linzu complained. Fortunately there is still some frozen meat in the refrigerator, otherwise, how could you eat the steaming hot meal? Sorry, I was wrong. Forget it, just be careful next time. Eat a full meal, and have a good rest. You look thinner. Oh. Linbin nodded, and went back to his room. After moving, he felt that he had become the most convenient person. The cooking and washing dishes that were previously his responsibility were now taken care of by Linzu. Although it was not convenient to sit, she was very resistant to Linbin not letting her do such basic housework. Back to the room. Open the Samsara app on the phone, and connect it to the Samsara table. The next moment, a lot of strange friend request pop-ups popped up. There were so many of them, I'm afraid there were no less than 100. Linbin was not shocked. To be honest, his current personal data was scary even for him, and others would definitely be more excited. Who doesn't want to find a big thigh to hug? No one is rejected. Agree to all. No matter whether it is useful or not, add them first. Especially after adding friends. As long as you click on the personal information, you can see their basic personal information. Many reincarnations have fixed teams. But in order to facilitate the changeable secret realm, most reincarnations are randomly ranked. So if you can be ranked with teammates who know reincarnations, then the experience in the secret realm will undoubtedly be much easier. Linbin ignored the words of goodwill sent by those people. Instead, he directly clicked on the secret realm item trading area in the 5 large modules. Unlike the exchange area, the trading area is a transaction between players, and the reincarnation space only extracts a 5% handling fee from it. When Linbin clicked it, it was densely packed with various props appearing in front of him. Detailed pictures, introductions, and marked psychological prices. If you are interested, you can discuss privately to see if you can bargain down the price. After the price is agreed upon, someone will come to collect the weapons and offer reincarnation points, so that the reincarnations can complete the transaction without meeting each other. Linbin took a photo of the dagger he got from the secret realm, and the details of its ability to cut iron like mud were clearly described. The price is 400 reincarnation points. With the Shura blade, this dagger is almost useless to him, so it is better to exchange it for reincarnation points to enhance his own strength. In fact, he originally wanted to use this dagger to exchange for a gun for Linzu for self-defense. If the 7 survivors were all under the target of the attack, then not only him, but also Linzu would be within the hunting range of the other party. But in theory, the weapons in the secret realm cannot be used in the real world at all. After all, the rules of the world are not the same. The reason why the reincarnationists can use these weapons in any environment is because of the reincarnation table. The rules of the reincarnation space are very strict, and there are no loopholes to exploit. It seems that, if I want to completely get rid of my worries, I still have to become a formal reincarnationist. Linbin flipped through the transaction module bit by bit, with a serious look on his face. Chapter 56. Don't choose the right one, just choose the expensive one. Recommended additional chapter. Become a formal reincarnationist. Unlike trainees are at most equivalent to internships, and do not enjoy the treatment of real reincarnationists. Once you become a formal reincarnationist, you can enjoy the benefits provided by the Chinese Reincarnation Association. A guaranteed subsidy of 30,000 per month. The right to apply for a safe house with an area of 140 square meters, and the living house is surrounded by the most elite security guards. If you can live there, the safety is absolutely unquestionable. Even the security guards are retired reincarnationists. As the first line of defense against invaders from other worlds, the rear area of reincarnationists is extremely important, and the Reincarnation Association cannot ignore it. There is also a benefit that covers all medical expenses for yourself and your immediate family members. Any of these 3 items is what Linbin urgently needs. He earned 600,000 yuan, but that is dead money. As long as he can become a formal reincarnationist, he can get a safe house. Although he may have to move away from here and leave the Lion Lady at that time, Linbin is still reluctant to part with this. After all, it is rare for someone to talk to Linzu. but for safety reasons, everything can be compromised. And medical expenses are completely free. Linsu's legs cost 5 figures every month to ensure that her muscles do not atrophy. This is just the minimum. But if he can get this benefit, Linbin can confidently ask for the best equipment and the most superior treatment conditions for Linsu. This is what Raymond told Linbin. Obviously, he also understands Linbin's current concerns. The conditions for becoming a formal reincarnationist are actually very loose. Clear 3 ordinary secret realms, and the average evaluation is above sea level. And Linbin. Killing secret realm A level, adventure secret realm S level. But there is not a single ordinary level. So there are 2 choices left for you. The first is to keep the evaluation of these 2 secret realms, and then honestly brush the ordinary secret realm 3 times, pass the assessment, and become a formal reincarnationist. With your current strength, I believe that in less than half a year, you can become a formal reincarnationist, and you will be guaranteed a killing level and adventure level evaluation in the future, and you will have a smooth journey in the future. The choice Raymond gave at the time was very reasonable, and he also considered Linbin's current situation, and gave another choice. Or, enter the adventure level secret realm or the killing level secret realm again. If you can get the same results again, I will directly apply for you to skip the level, skip the restrictions of ordinary level reincarnationists, and become a transcendental level reincarnationist. In this way, if it is other reincarnationists, they may be underdeveloped because they have entered too few secret realms, but I think you should not have this problem. There are pros and cons to the 2 choices. The first one, enter the secret realm 3 times, 6 months. By then, the opportunity will be gone, and it will delay strengthening too much. At least, now Linbin really doesn't think that learning Wing Chun from Master Yi will improve much. It's not that Wing Chun is not strong enough, but the attributes are repeated. What Wing Chun can do, Master One's take I can also do. Starve to death the timid, and eat to death the bold. If the previous 2 times of entering the secret realm, there were frequent accidents, then now, the 3rd time, Linbin wants to apply for it actively. Anyway, there are a lot of reincarnation points, and he can use these 2 months to strengthen himself again. By then, at least he will not enter the secret realm and still be underdeveloped. Linbin did not choose to strengthen immediately, but called Raymond first. The other party seemed to have been waiting for a long time. He asked, "Have you changed your mind?" Linbin said, "I followed your instructions, Director Lei, and came back to think seriously for a long time. I'm sure that I would like to trouble you to apply for the trial of the adventure level secret realm for me." In fact, he had already made a decision. But Raymond refused on the grounds that the time for consideration was too short, and asked him to get back to him after thinking it through thoroughly in the evening. Linbin did not refuse the other party's kindness. After all, the other party's reasons were very sufficient. You have to think clearly. This time is different from the last time and the last time before that. Your 2 clearance experiences are all independent clearances. Lei Chun is just a decoration, and Deng Yang is even a drag on you. But without teammates, it is equivalent to no drag. This time you will have teammates. If your teammates' performance is too poor, it will also affect your evaluation. Do you understand? I've thought it through. Linbin thought to himself that, if I digest the current reincarnation points, my strength will probably be enough to reach the extraordinary realm by then. In addition, so many reincarnations have added me as their friend, so let me be clear. By then, I might be able to recruit a bunch of obedient reincarnations. Raymond said, "Well, that's good. When you enter, it won't be a brand new secret realm, but a secret realm that has been cultivated by others. Before entering, you can get a lot of useful information in advance, which can be regarded as equalizing the burden of a bunch of stupid teammates." Linbin was surprised and said, "Huh? A secret realm that you have entered? What else? Before the world administration, when there were no new secret realms, you were no different from ordinary reincarnations. You still had to enter the secret realm when the time came." Linbin nodded, and then realized that Raymond couldn't see his nod. He said, "I know. Anyway, the plot itself is unreliable. With so many teammates together, the plot will be messed up if you don't pay attention, just like the last Dragon Gate flying armor. If he really follows the plot, he might not know how he died. What really works is your own strength. Martial arts enhancement? No, it's better to pick some more props. At a critical moment, props may be more useful than martial arts. By the way, the reward given to you by the World Administration has been issued. There are probably 2 items this time, and you are allowed to choose one from them. Oh. Lin Bin's eyes lit up and asked, what are the 2 secret realm items? I'll send you the information. After a moment, 2 more lines of information appeared on the phone. Roll card, A-level secret realm item. Using this roll card, you can choose an alien to replace when entering the secret realm, replacing that person's identity and status. Note, be careful not to expose yourself, otherwise you will die at the hands of the person closest to you, and don't let yourself not expose yourself, otherwise you will die at the hands of your most trusted teammates. Holy Blessing Potion, A-level secret realm item. After taking this potion, if you die within the next half an hour, you will be resurrected immediately on the spot and restore 1/3 of your blood and strength. Note, please be sure to calculate the time accurately, it will not work if you take it afterwards. Roll card? Lin Bin was shocked and said, is there really such a thing? I can only say that Yu Huashan really dug too deep, tortured Deng Yang out of all the information he knew, and then used it vividly. Raymond said, of course, killing Yu Huashan was your job, and it is impossible to give you some extra rewards, but you successfully rescued 6 innocent citizens, and the lives of citizens are more important than anything else. In addition, you successfully got an S-level evaluation, curbed the subsequent expansion of the secret realm, and provided extremely detailed information to ensure that the reincarnations who entered the space for training in the future can get the greatest security. After he said a lot, he concluded, with a few accumulated merits, your reward will become A-level. Don't think too much. It has nothing to do with Yu Huashan, and I don't mean to use the back door for you. After that, you will get an S-level evaluation again, and it is estimated that you will get a B-level item reward at most. Yes, I understand. Then which one do you choose? Wait a minute. Lin Bin quickly switched to the backstage and opened the module of the Reincarnation Space Exchange area. He muttered, the character card will only be exploded with a very low probability after killing the aliens in the secret realm. Exchange requires 1 B-level merit, 1 C-level merit, and 3500 reincarnation points. The Holy Blessing Potion comes from an extremely dangerous nightmare level world. Exchange requires 1 B-level merit, 2 C-level merit, and 3700 reincarnation points. He said without hesitation, Director Lei, I choose the Holy Blessing Potion. Raymond's cold voice also carried a speechless tone, and he scolded, such an important prop, you don't even choose the right one, but only the expensive one. P.S. Please recommend, collect, and read, especially read. It's very important. In addition, the monthly ticket will soon be added. Chapter 57 The basics must be laid from childhood. Lin Bin's understanding was very straightforward. Both things were good, and it wouldn't be wrong to choose either one. Under these conditions, it was much more cost-effective to choose the expensive one than the cheap one. At least with his current financial resources, he could afford the character card, but not the Holy Blessing Potion. And it was an extra life. Lin Bin naturally knew the priorities. Okay, then you can come and get the Holy Resurrection Potion tomorrow. Oh, and the ammunition. I'll give you 100 rounds of bullets. Remember to carry them with you in the future. Don't be unprepared and rush into battle like this time. Yes, thank you Director Lei. Also, don't forget the report. Submit it tomorrow. I'll work overtime. That's good. I'm hanging up. Wait. Lin Bin suddenly shouted. Raymond asked, is there anything else? There were too many things before, and I didn't have time to ask. Lin Bin pondered over his words and said, the accident 3 years ago was indeed related to the secret realm, and after that, my sister was seriously injured. The doctor diagnosed that her legs were contaminated by the secret realm items. It is difficult to cure with current medical conditions. If I can find that traverser, your consideration makes sense. Indeed, if it is really contaminated by the secret realm items of that traverser, if the original body is found, there may be a possibility of cure. Lin Bin's fist suddenly clenched. There was a bit of excitement in his eyes. He became a reincarnation. First, he was unwilling to be mediocre, and second, he wanted to kill Lenzu's legs. It's like Yu Huashan learned that he could regenerate his body in reality. Even if he took the initiative to surrender, he would come to this world with Lin Bin to find hope. Lin Bin's idea is actually the same as his. Since there is no way in the real world, I will look for it in the secret realm. No matter how difficult it is, I can always find it. But now, the twists and turns, the person involved in the incident that year has surfaced again. Lin Bin said, I remember you said that in addition to an unknown organization plotting to kill this time traveler, the Reincarnation Association is also looking for this time traveler. Who is specifically responsible for this? Can I get involved? Raymond said, well, someone has been handling this matter before. If you interfere, forget it. This kind of task related to reality must be participated by reincarnations above the extraordinary realm. After you become a reincarnation of the extraordinary realm, I will help you apply for you to co-host this matter, but there may not be much reward, but you should not care about any reward, right? Thank you, Director Lei. It should be. I won't bother you. Write the report quickly, otherwise, I will give you the reward. If you haven't submitted the report yet, someone will say that I'm partial to you and pervert the law. I haven't done this even for my own brother. For you, it's not worth it. Yes, thank you, Director Lei. Lin Bin said gratefully. It was this feeling again. I was scolded, but my heart was warm. He quickly opened the laptop he just bought and began to fill out the report seriously. Tonight, he will stay up all night to repay Director Lei for his kindness. A moment later, the door was pushed open. Lin Zu came in quietly in the electric wheelchair that Lin Bin had just bought. The brand new motor didn't make any noise, but it saved a lot of effort compared to the previous manual wheelchair. She brought a cup of tea and said, go to bed early. Okay, there are still 10,000 words to write. I'll go to bed after I finish coding. Lin Bin was full of fighting spirit. Lin Zu sighed softly, put down the tea, and drove the wheelchair out. The next morning, for safety, Lin Bin took Lin Zu to work with him. He temporarily placed her in the living room and let her watch TV for a while. He went to the office on the top floor. He handed a thick stack of printed documents to Lei Meng. Not only were there details of his experience this time, but also many details about the Ming dynasty that he remembered. Thanks to those things in the Ming dynasty, he could clearly remember the system and many links of the Ming dynasty's governance of the country. Lei Meng read just one page for half an hour. He read and appreciated the text, and after finishing the first page, he put it down and exclaimed, reading good texts is like drinking fine wine. I suddenly understand why you are not surprised that Zukan recruited you to become a reincarnation, because of your writing style. The information is very detailed, and it seems to be very similar to the governing policy of our China hundreds of years ago. No wonder you said this is the white secret realm, Abin. You did a good job. As he said that, he handed over a small bottle filled with a slightly rippling golden liquid that looked like solid jelly. He warned, remember, the holy resurrection potion is very magical, but it also has great limitations. Don't do anything wrong. Yes. Also, are you ready to exchange things with the rewards you got this time? Lin Bin nodded and said, I have already thought about what to exchange, and I'm choosing the details. Go practice shooting first, and then exchange after practice. Intense training can calm you down, and prevent you from doing impulsive things. Yes. By the way, Raymond asked, did you cultivate true ki with your eternal life secret? Lin Bin nodded and said, I'm lucky. I really succeeded in practicing. Then you'd better not tell anyone about your exchange for the eternal life secret. Lin Bin was stunned for a moment, nodded, and said, I understand what you mean. Director Lei. Go and get busy. Yes. Lin Bin left, and went to practice shooting. This experience also gave him experience. Although he practiced for 2 months, his gun skills were obviously far from enough. Even if Raymond didn't say it, he planned to use this free resource to hone himself. He practiced for a whole morning. The numbness in his arm has disappeared. Apparently, his palm has completely adapted to the weight of the Desert Eagle Shura. The next thing he needs to practice is shooting while moving. Lin Bin wiped the sweat off his head and sat down in the lounge. He finally had some free time and began to seriously consider what he was going to exchange. The top priority is of course the means of attack. Teikai is indeed very powerful. Chinese martial arts Teikai is still above Teikai in terms of lethality of the same level, but its upper limit is far less powerful than real Teikai, especially after getting the three-edged sword. This sword is not very powerful, but it also requires tens or even millions of cash to buy it. It is enough for initial use, but if you want to perform well, you still need a sword technique. Moreover, after the previous battle with Yu Huashan, he had already figured out the characteristics he should follow. Usually, I should focus on skills, relying on the long-lasting recovery of the eternal life secret to wear down the enemy, but if I can't drag them to death, I will directly use the God's Descending technique, transforming into a berserker to kill the enemy with lightning speed. In a sense, the lethality of the national martial arts Teikai is just right for me, but the gentle Teikai was beaten by me like a storm. If Master 1 knew about it, he would probably hug the plaque of his master and cry for a while. Lin been selected from the exchange list for a long time. His requirements were quite high. First of all, it must be consistent with the Taoist principles, so as to lay a foundation for his future. Secondly, it is best to be consistent with the skills, so that they can benefit each other. After choosing for a long time, he finally found the sword method that suits him best. Martial arts, Teikai sword, B-level secret realm martial arts. The intention is to attack first, gather the energy of the two poles of yin and yang, use slow to beat fast, use light to beat heavy, 4 ounces can move 1,000 pounds. It is a profound sword technique that goes against the ordinary martial arts. Exchange requires B-level merit x1, reincarnation points x 1700 points. Lin Bin has discovered a pattern during this period of time. It is very rigid, not necessarily wrong, but definitely unreasonable. For example, the martial arts or skills that explode in the adventure level secret realm are only at the highest level of B. It seems that as long as there are ghosts, it must be a killing level secret realm, and so on and so forth. However, this pattern can be regarded as a good thing for him. In fact, there are many choices, such as the 13 deadly swords, the divine sword art, and even the Yi sword art. But if Lin Bin wants to lay a foundation for the future, then he needs to get in touch with the Taoist system more. Moreover, although martial arts Teikai sword and national martial arts Teikai are not from the same sect, they have the same origin and the same clan. If the artistic conception of Teikai sword can be combined with national martial arts Teikai, wouldn't it be possible to combine the lethality of Chinese martial arts Teikai and the unfathomable depth of martial arts Teikai, and directly save a B-level merit, and then maybe even give back to Master 1's family? It's very difficult. But cultivating immortals and practicing martial arts actually requires a certain level of understanding. Lin Bin thinks that this aspect should be grasped from the basics. Chapter 58 Exchange. 3 C-level merits are combined into 1 B-level merit. In this regard, the reincarnation space is still very accommodating. Merits are just not allowed to be traded. This is reasonable. Once everything is allowed to be traded, the gap in strength will soon turn into a gap in wealth. Lin Bin now has 4 C-level merits, 3 of which are combined into 1 B-level merit, 1,700 merit points. After the exchange is completed, a lot of information about Teikai swordsmanship has appeared in his reincarnation table. Lin Bin plans to ask Wan Zhenghua for advice. Teikai and swordsmanship are inseparable. With him, he will definitely help him master Teikai swordsmanship quickly, and Teikai will also be able to go further. After the means of attack are settled, Lin Bin picked for a long time and chose a light body technique. Tianzang, C-level secret realm light body technique. From the adventure level secret realm, after practicing, the body is light and agile. Although he is not good at moving with footwork to confuse the enemy, he can move freely up and down, and is one of the best light body techniques in the secret realm. The exchange requires 1 C-level merit and 900 reincarnation points. For long distance raids, martial artists must have Kingang. In fact, there are better options. Lingbo Weibo, Water Shift, and Bird Crossing are all more outstanding Kingang, especially Bird Crossing, which is a special Kingang for Shuanglong, which Lin Bin likes more. However, the consumption of 2 C-level merits is a burden that he cannot afford at all. Moreover, the cost effectiveness of Tianzang is undoubtedly the highest. You must know that this Kingang is the protagonist Zhang Wuji's exclusive Kingang. Under the urging of the 9 Yang magic art, even the Kingai Bat King Wei Yixiro, who is the best in the world in Kingang, has been surpassed by him. The secret of immortality is endless, and the effect will never be worse than the 9 Yang magic art. It is just right with this Kingang. It is just a martial art, a Kingang, and all the merits have been consumed. Lin Bin couldn't help but sigh that what Raymond said before really made sense. This is the price of insufficient foundation. For a normal person to reach his level, he would have to go through at least 3 ordinary secret realms and 3 adventure secret realms, and that was only if everything went smoothly. It might even be more. But he only went through 2 secret realms, which seemed impressive, but the rewards he got were undoubtedly not much better than those of them who went through 6 or 7 reincarnation experiences. Fortunately, the reincarnation space was not only for official exchange. After exchanging enough things for his own use, he still had 2,900 reincarnation points left. With 600,000 as a base this time, he didn't have to worry about spending. He couldn't exchange things in the official exchange area, but there was still the reincarnation trading area. Lin Bin searched carefully for a while, and really found something that was just right for him, good quality and cheap. Storage Belt Soul Guide, D-level secret realm item. Storage belt, inlaid with 24 gems, can hold 24 cubic items, cannot hold living things, and requires 2,000 reincarnation points to buy. Seller, Luo Pang. After having enough skills, the top priority must be things with storage functions. Things like the Desert Eagle Shura and the Golden Money Sword are easy to carry around, but where to put the compass and the newly acquired 3-bladed sword? The 3-bladed sword can be carried on the back, and can barely be called cosplay, but things like the compass are round and big, and can't fit in the pocket. It takes up space, and it doesn't feel right no matter how you put it. That is to say, there are no ghosts in the Dragon Gate flying armor. Otherwise, I'm afraid Lin Bin will be annoyed why he didn't bring the compass. Although things like space rings have not appeared yet, some low-level secret realms have also produced similar things. For example, the sealed scroll in a red secret realm that has just been upgraded from adventure level to killing level, and the storage ring that is similar to a storage bag. However, the level of the secret realm where these things are located is a bit high, so the price is also high. But this D-level secret realm item is probably at most an adventure level secret realm. Therefore, no matter how high the price is, it is limited. It can be opened to 2,000 reincarnation points, because the thing is really practical. To put it bluntly, the effects of the things are similar, but they are dragged down by the level of the secret realm. When I was browsing just now, I saw that many of the things I was browsing turned grey. Obviously, they had been sold. It can be seen that the purchasing power of the reincarnations is still quite amazing. Especially here there is no merit requirement. Many rich people often come here to buy. Lin Bin was afraid that someone would get ahead of him, so he chose to buy it at the first time. Then, as Lin Bin reduced his reincarnation points by 2,000 points, he received a message. The storage belt soul rope device you ordered will be delivered to you within 24 hours. Please wait patiently. 23.59.57. So it's still delivered to your door. This was the first time Lin Bin bought a physical item from the reincarnation, and it felt quite down to earth. Reincarnation, Abin, level, apprentice qualifications. 1 experience in clearing a slaughter level secret realm independently. Rating A. 1 experience in clearing an adventure level secret realm independently. Rating S. The first 3 items are visible to all reincarnations. Merit none. Reincarnation points 900 points. Weapons: B-level weapon Golden Money Sword, C-level weapon Triple Blade Sword, D-level ranged weapon Desert Eagle Shura. Enhancement none. Skills: Eternal Life Secret B-level. Skills: B-level God's Descent, B-level Takai Sword, C-level Ladder Cloud Leap. Items: D-level item Compass, D-level item Storage Belt Soul Guide. The reincarnation points were almost completely spent, but the income was also quite amazing, and there were still 2 months left. It seems that the next 2 months will be quite busy. Lin Bin put away the Desert Eagle Shura, First went to the living room to pick up Linzu, and then took him to the supermarket to buy today's ingredients. Will I have to go to and from get off work with you every day in the future? Linzu sat in the wheelchair and turned off the motor so that Lin Bin could push her forward and asked, I saw in the news these 2 days that there is a pervert in our Beishu city who likes to torture and kill some weak girls who live alone. I'm not sure if I can leave you alone at home. Don't worry, the patrol will catch him soon. Lin Bin made up a reason casually. Oh. Linzu nodded and said, just don't let your leader have any opinions. It's okay, he still thinks highly of me. While talking, Lin Bin's reincarnation watch suddenly trembled slightly, and he received a message. He looked down. The dagger had been successfully sold. Obviously, there are still many people who like this kind of dagger that is easy to carry and can cut iron like mud. The system prompts that within 24 hours, either personally deliver the dagger to the Reincarnation Association, and the Reincarnation Association will hand it over on your behalf, or the Reincarnation Association will send someone to collect it. Lin Bin glanced at Linzu. Linzu said considerately, go and do what you need to do. It's not a big deal, just sending a courier. I'll have someone pick it up at your door. Lin Bin still didn't choose to leave, but he decided silently in his heart that he must become a formal reincarnationist as soon as possible. I heard that in the safe zone, even the doorman is a retired reincarnation master. And Linzu's range of activities is not that large, just around the house, so there is no need to worry about safety issues at that time. Although it is the first time to buy and sell reincarnation items, I think the other party also has a formal license, and the reincarnation trading area is so well run, there should be no problem with door-to-door pickup. Sure enough, when the two of them arrived at the door, someone had already taken the initiative to greet them. It was a beautiful girl about 20 years old, with loose hair, black stockings and high heels, and a welcoming dress, looking dignified and delicate. She walked slowly towards Lin Bin with a model's step, smiling and said, excuse me, is this Mr. 958? This is my work badge, and the previous verification code number. Please check it. At the same time, I also need to verify whether the item is the same as the description. If there is no problem, when you hand the item to me, the funds will be transferred to your account. By the way, as long as you can complete the verification, I will give it to you immediately. Every transaction has a temporary random code to facilitate recognition. This is also to protect the personal safety of the reincarnation. Even these staff members do not know the real name of the reincarnation they are facing. And Lin Bin has nodded with satisfaction. The money arrives first. He finally understood why he dared to let people come to the door without worrying about being robbed. It turned out that the money had already arrived when the item left his hand. If it was lost again, it would have nothing to do with the seller. Good review. And even the belt was delivered? Is the express delivery service of this reincarnation space outsourced to Shunfeng? He nodded and said, wait a minute, I'll get the things to you. As he said, he pushed Linzu upstairs. Linzu was still looking at the girl who went upstairs with them in surprise. She asked in amazement, are all couriers so pretty now? Chapter 59. He is really too fast. Please read and vote for me. Heisha City. In a quiet room. The dim old-fashioned gas bulbs were emitting a turbid light. In the narrow living room, a figure had been kneeling respectfully for a long time. After a long time, a hoarse voice came from the mobile phone on the table, asking, why didn't you attack Lin Bin in the secret realm? The kneeling figure answered respectfully, Lin Bin is not a new reincarnation. He has experience. I'm worried that I can't kill him with one blow. Once he is on guard, our existence may be leaked to others. So I wanted to gain his trust first. Then what? Then, there is nothing else. The kneeling figure said with a bit of absurdity in his voice. Then the mission was completed. Lin Bin was too fast. I wanted to get familiar with him first, so that I could get closer to him. But before I started the plan, he had already cleared the secret realm in no time. He was too fast. By the time I found out, he had already brought us out. Having said that, after a pause, the figure said, although we missed the best opportunity, we still have a chance now. After all, I have fought side by side with him, and should have gained his trust. As long as you agree, Master 7th, I can find an opportunity in reality to kill him. He said in a hoarse voice, you should have taken action as soon as you entered the secret realm. That was your best chance. Now Lin Bin has passed through 2 secret realms in succession, and both have been highly praised. His reputation has begun to spread among the reincarnationists. Although he is only an apprentice level reincarnationist, many extraordinary and saint level reincarnationists are paying attention to him. Do you want to expose all of us by taking action at this time? I have absolutely no such intention. I just think that if Lin Bin can die quietly, the importance of the organization is above all else. Don't ruin our plan for a little Lin Bin. No, I'm just thinking, what if Lin Bin dies reasonably in reality? Then even if he dies, will no one doubt our existence? Oh, can you tell me in detail? Your Excellency should know that there was actually another reincarnationist, Deng Yang, who went to the adventure level secret realm with Lin Bin this time. He's dead. That was Lin Bin's report, but in fact, he is still alive. He was just deprived of his identity as a reincarnationist because he leaked information about the present world. Then what? He was abandoned by Lin Bin and thrown into that world. Because when they just entered that secret realm, Lin Bin acted arbitrarily, which aroused his anger. The two parted unhappily, and in the end it was proved that Lin Bin was right, and he was left to endure the pain of being abandoned. Do you mean to let him deal with Lin Bin? He has every reason to hate Lin Bin. We just need to rescue him and lead him into the organization. When the time comes, he will kill Lin Bin, and then we will shoot him to death. In this way, Lin Bin's death is simply due to his narrow-mindedness and inability to tolerate others. He abandoned those who disagreed with him, so it is normal for him to be killed. That's a good idea. It's not easy to find someone in the secret realm, but as long as we can successfully find him, we can easily bring him out then. The hoarse voice changed and said, the information you provided is very good, so let's prepare for both situations. Remember to hide yourself. When Deng Yang comes out, you will contact him and guide him to join us. Yes. The voice disappeared, and the screen of the phone turned off. The figure kneeling in front of the screen slowly sat back on the ground, feeling that his back was already wet. How could Lin Bin know that the conspiracy against him had already been laid out? During this period of time, he was busy and fulfilled. Since he exchanged for the Teikai sword, he began to practice hard again. It was not convenient to jump up and down at home, so he meditated and practiced the eternal life secret to improve the purity and strength of his own true energy. In the World Bureau, he worked hard to practice Teikai sword. He was not wrong about one thing. As a Taoist mental method, the eternal life secret did greatly enhance the understanding of Teikai sword. Just like Wei Zhang Wuji learned Teikai sword in minutes in the plot, but people like Yang Zhao could not understand it at all. Is it really because they are not good at understanding? To be able to become a martial arts master, their understanding is naturally good, but they suddenly came into contact with the supreme Taoist learning without a foundation. So they were just confused. Just like asking a world champion of kendo to shoot a gun, it would be difficult for him to get any good results. But when Lin Bin exchanged it, he was extra cautious. Both Teikai sword and Tian Zhang are Taoist secrets, which are just right for the secret of longevity. In addition, there is the guidance of Teikai Master Wan Zhonghua, especially in Teikai sword. The skills exchanged by the reincarnation are not allowed to be leaked, but some puzzles encountered in the practice process can be directly raised. As a master of national martial arts, Wan Zhonghua can give answers with his rich experience. And he can also draw inferences from other cases in the process of answering, and understand a lot of the essence of Teikai sword. So, the look in Lin Bin's eyes is more approving. He also understands that Lin Bin is indeed asking him for advice, but in the process of asking for advice, isn't it also giving back to him as a master? Wan Zhonghua has learned a lot, and Lin Bin has also made rapid progress. The two can be considered a win-win situation. During this period of time, Lin Bin did not just practice sword. Teikai sword is mainly about entanglement, and defense is the attack. It is round and smooth, and its mysterious and indescribable aspects are indeed better than any other sword techniques. However, in terms of lethality, it is still much weaker than the sword techniques such as Dugun 9 swords. But Lin Bin has a 3-edged sword. During the fight with the enemy, a flying blade suddenly went straight to his face. Not to mention the enemy, even he himself sometimes couldn't react. There was no way. Those two flying blades were like Captain America's shield. They looked ordinary, but they were extremely difficult to use and control. In the end, Lin Bin could only put on protective gear and practice hard against the target, hoping to master the two flying blades as the essence of the three-edged sword as soon as possible. Fortunately, Teikai sword is not about fast fighting, so it can allow Lin Bin to master it step by step. The same is true for King Gang. King Gang and martial arts of the same sect complement each other. In just over a month, Lin Bin's combat power soared to an extremely terrifying level. He even had full confidence. If he faced Yu Huashan again at this time, even without Zhao Huayan's help, he would have a chance of winning. If he fought alone, the accumulation of just 3 or 4 months was comparable to the accumulation of decades of hard training by a powerful warrior. Wan Zhanhe once said in shock that Lin Bin was indeed a rare martial arts genius in a century. But Lin Bin knew his own business. Was he very perceptive? Of course, he was very good. He himself had not expected this, but in fact, the martial arts truths he learned from novels in his previous life were only unclear and powerful when he heard them. But now that he has come into contact with these orthodox martial arts, combined with his previous memories, he can immediately have new insights. It's just like being instructed by Zhang Sanfeng himself. How could he not make progress quickly? Peaceful but fulfilling days. Even Lin Zu felt satisfied. There was no other reason. It was that Lin Bin was almost sticky to her during this period. Except for going to the toilet, he required her to open the door when sleeping. She was naturally very pleased that the relationship between the siblings was good. But the more he practiced, the busier he became. Lin Bin's free time was limited. Until this day, Abin, the secret realm you will be training in next time, has come down. Raymond found Lin Bin, handed him a document, and said, "This is the information of this secret realm. Because the situation in this secret realm is a bit urgent, you don't have the opportunity to choose. It is confirmed to be this one." Chapter 60 Alien vs. Predator? So fast? When Lin Bin took the file, his face, which was a little thin due to his hard practice every day, showed a little confusion. "Do you think it's too fast?" This time even Raymond couldn't help laughing. Shaking his head, he said, "Normal people who have experienced the secret realm twice have just exchanged for some of the most basic skills. In addition to the foundation they have trained in the real world before. 2 months is enough for them to be familiar with the skills they have mastered, and then put into new experience, because for a new reincarnationist, now is their golden period of reincarnation experience and growth. So naturally the faster the better. But you weird anomaly. Just call me a freak. I won't be angry." Raymond shook his head and said, "If you want more time to settle yourself, after you successfully pass the secret realm this time, and become a reincarnationist in the extraordinary realm, your secret realm time will be greatly extended. At that time, you only need to enter once every 4 months. By then, you will have more time to settle yourself, but there is still a problem." "What problem?" "Because the difficulty of the apprentice reincarnation is not high, it is more about letting the reincarnations get familiar with the experience process of the secret realm and build their own social circle. After reaching the extraordinary realm, all reincarnations will have a few reincarnation friends who are familiar and trust each other. In this way, even when entering a high-level secret realm in the future, they can invite each other to take care of each other." Raymond shook his head and said, "You skipped this rhythm directly. It is true that you have improved much faster than those novice reincarnations, but correspondingly, some of the things you have lost cannot be made up by talent." "You mean, this adventure level secret realm is very dangerous, much more dangerous than the last time. You'd better choose teammates you can trust, rather than letting the system assign you completely." Lin Bin said seriously, "I have learned this lesson in the last secret realm. Wasn't Deng Yang the last time?" Lin Bin had just given orders for a while, and he immediately jumped out and wanted to seize power, and the two of them parted unhappily. If Lin Bin was a reincarnation in the extraordinary realm, Deng Yang would definitely not dare to say a word. To put it bluntly, the prestige is not enough. Raymond asked, "What type of reincarnation teammate do you want?" Lin Bin answered without hesitation. Obedient. Raymond. Don't worry, go back and look at the information first, but I can recommend you an obedient teammate. My brother Lei Jun is strong, but he doesn't have much brains. He likes to listen to people's orders the most. You can't go wrong by looking for him. Lin Bin said. Director Lei, you and I want to go together. By the way, Miss Zhu's words. Don't make a fuss. Although she is just a reincarnation in the extraordinary realm, she is only one step away from becoming a saint. As a transcendent, she can beat my brother 12 times, and you can't cooperate with her at your current level. Besides, she is already in the secret realm. You can't cooperate with her in a short time. Okay. Raymond said, because there will be no new reincarnation space in the near future. This time you are not entering the secret realm as a world administration, but as an ordinary reincarnation. So it is also according to the normal process. Give you the information a week in advance, so that you can be prepared. And correspondingly, there will be no extra rewards from the world administration this time. Do you understand? Understood. The plot is messed up, and there is no extra reward. This is simply a double debuff. Seeing Lin Bin's regretful expression, Raymond shook his head and said, others think the world administration is a death concentration camp, but you really think it's your home? I just think the atmosphere here is good. Then how about I help you make the atmosphere here better? During your absence, I will send someone to secretly protect your sister, so you don't have to worry about her safety. Thank you, Director Lei. Go, remember, within a week, read the strategy, find teammates, and be ready, understand? Yes. Lin Bin took the documents. He did not immediately pick up Len Zhu, but returned to his office first. After working for a few months, it was really the first time for him to sit in his office chair. Next to him, two good-looking female colleagues looked at him curiously. It seemed that they wanted to come forward and say hello. They were all responsible for the logistics services of the reincarnations, and serving those old reincarnations was also a service, and serving Lin Bin, a handsome, young, and rich reincarnation, was also a service. Naturally, they also had ideas. Seeing Lin Bin's serious expression, he did not dare to disturb him. Lin Bin, on his side, opened the guide. Secret realm type, technology type, secret realm difficulty, adventure level, number of times entered. 3 times. All missions failed. Secret realm details. A large pyramid-shaped secret room secret realm, with 2 different types of enemies. 1. It is an extreme primitive killing form, with tribes as groups, and reproduces by killing. By laying eggs in the bodies of other creatures, the host's life provides enough nutrients for the growth of their children. Its tribe pattern is similar to that of wasps, but it is more bloodthirsty and cruel. 2. It is an extremely civilized alien technology, and its technological advancement is suspected to be ahead of the UN star, but it is keen on fighting the enemy in close combat, and is addicted to abuse. Note 1. It is extremely difficult to communicate with both types of enemies. And if you encounter both at the same time, you can easily become the target of their common slaughter. It is recommended to defeat them one by one. Note 2. Type 1 alien creatures parasitize through the mouth, so it is recommended to wear a mask. Lin Bin slowly put down the file. A somewhat absurd expression appeared on his face. The sense of deja vu is so strong. Aliens versus predators? No. 3 batches of reincarnations have entered it one after another. This should be called aliens versus predators versus reincarnations. Adventure level? Is the level of predators only adventure level? Thinking about it carefully, it seems to be right. After all, although predators have advanced technology, they prefer hand-to-hand combat. And if it is close hand-to-hand combat, Lin Bin feels that he is now fully capable of fighting predators. It's just that the aliens, the elusive sneak attack method is really hard to guard against. I hope the plot won't be messed up too much. Lin Bin sighed, thinking that this time he really needs Lei Jun's help. If he doesn't have foresight, then he can help himself to get more good luck. He called Lei Jun. Brother Lei, the next secret realm I'm going to is an adventure level secret realm. Yes. I'm short of teammates, so much. I fought alone in both secret realms. How could I know any reincarnationists? Oh, no, I forgot that we fought side by side in the first secret realm. I'm sorry, Brother Lee, you're really a very reliable person. You see, I found you first. Okay, see you then. Hahaha. With Brother Lee here, I feel I'm 90% sure of winning this secret realm. So, the first teammate was agreed upon. Chapter 61. Prepare in advance, seeking monthly tickets and follow-up reading. The secret realm will be officially opened in a week. This time is different from the previous ones. There will be teammates to follow and cooperate. Either select teammates in advance and apply for reincarnation requests in advance, then both parties will naturally become common teammates. Reincarnators who trust each other and know each other well will obviously cooperate better. But if you can't find a suitable teammate, the reincarnation space will automatically equip them at that time. Raymond didn't take it seriously. Lin Bin's previous performance was too amazing. Soloing the zombie secret realm, even the weakest killing level secret realm is still killing level. Obviously, he still underestimated the zombie secret realm. After all, in his opinion, although zombies are scary, they are easy to deal with after knowing their weaknesses. Lin Bin would naturally not be stupid enough to tell others about the existence of the zombie king, vampires, and Yincha. Moreover, in the second adventure level secret realm, he was tied up with a group of burdens, but he could still get an S-level evaluation. In addition, Raymond is probably the person who knows Lin Bin's wallet best, with 3 B-level merits and thousands of reincarnation points. These things are enough to fully equip him and reach the standard of a true extraordinary reincarnationist. An extraordinary reincarnationist entering an adventure level secret realm. This is the normal standard. For Lin Bin, it is even more child's play. But only Lin Bin knows his own business. The plot may not help him this time, and if the opponent is an alien, this monster will not be able to follow the plot at all. Without a plot, he can only rely on his true strength and the perseverance of his teammates. Unfortunately, Lin Bin grew too fast. Although his strength has caught up, he also has flaws. He did not have time to make some friends who grew up together. Of course, even if he had, it would be useless. Normally, people who became reincarnationists at the same time as him are probably still shuttling through fierce gunfire and rain of bullets, or fighting with enemies in the ring. Unlike him, he has to face alien monsters, and 2 monsters at a time. But Lin Bin naturally has his own way. Those who casually add him as a friend were originally very suitable, but now they can't, knowing that he is likely to be on the must-kill list of some organizations. Even the entrance to the secret realm can be arranged at the door. The power of this organization is definitely not to be underestimated. Lin Bin didn't want to be stabbed from behind at this time. No matter if it was a man or a woman. For this kind of thing, he still had to go to the authorities. He dialed the number that Raymond had asked him to leave. Hello, Mr. Lin, what do you want to talk to me about? K88's gentle voice sounded from the other side. Lin Bin asked, I want to ask, does your Technology Enhancement Association have any reincarnations that need training recently? K88 replied, of course. I would like to trouble you to recommend a few reliable teammates to me, because the next secret realm is alien technology, so I want to find teammates with technology enhancement. Okay. I can apply to our president. No need to apply. I will arrange a reliable teammate for you. A low and magnetic female voice sounded next to him. It can be heard that she took the phone and said to Lin Bin, she will be waiting for you at the entrance of the secret realm at that time. Don't worry, she is absolutely trustworthy. When she said the last 5 words, there was a bit of playfulness in her voice. Ah, thank you, President. The other side said, you found me. It seems that you also know what you are facing now. The real world may be more dangerous than the secret realm. Abin, when you are free, come to the Technology Enhancement Association. I have something to talk to you about. You are Bayuki, the president of the Baishu City Science and Technology Association, is what you call a traverser. You may not know this word, but no, I heard about it from Director Lei. Huh. It seems that he cares about you very much. Come on, this secret realm is not an ordinary adventure level. 3 reincarnations have gone to our Science and Technology Association before, and all died in it. It is said that the general administration has intended to upgrade the level of this secret realm to the killing level. A hot and tall figure with unruly eyes emerged in Lin Bin's mind. It turned out to be her. However, Lin Bin had seen too many characters in the plot, and his heart was only surprised for a while, and then he asked about the business. President Bay, can I trouble you with something? Go ahead. Can you give me 3 or 4 reliable and trustworthy reincarnationists like you mentioned? I heard that the reincarnation teams in the adventure level secret realms usually have 3 to 5 people. 1 is not enough. The confident and calm voice on the other side suddenly paused. No. After a cold answer, the phone was thrown directly back into K-88's hand. K-88 took the phone and explained in a good-tempered manner, of course we can find more people, but if we get something good in the secret realm and strengthen the system, how should we divide it? What if? I mean what if it causes internal strife? Then our Science and Technology Association will bear the consequences. So I'm sorry, Mr. Lin. Lin Bin said, thank you, K-88. I'll treat you to a drink next time. Sorry, I can't drink. Okay, then I'll treat you to engine oil. Whenever you make an appointment, I'll be there on time. After a few polite words, K-88 hung up the call and smiled. This kid has a sharp mind and actually discovered my true identity. Maybe this is why he can kill everyone in the secret realm. He has a keen observation ability. Bayuki said lightly. However, the enemies in the secret realm this time cannot communicate, which means it is difficult for him to take advantage of the situation. This secret realm may be more difficult for him than the first two combined. Do you need help? Let Zukan go. Favors also have different levels of importance. This little favor is only enough for me to help him a little. Yes. At home. Linzu pushed the wheelchair and looked at Lin Bin, who was packing his clothes, and asked, are you going on a business trip again? Yes, a business trip, but I don't have to climb up and down anymore, so you don't have to worry about my safety, but this time I may be away for a longer time. Be careful. Don't worry, I'm well prepared. Lin Bin wrapped the black belt around his waist. It looked no different from a belt. Who could imagine that it contained all the equipment such as Desert Eagle, Shura and Compass? Although there are still 7 days before the start of the plot, but Lin Bin plans to do some emergency special training in the next few days. Didn't Raymond agree that, as long as he left, he would send someone to ensure Linzu's safety? Lin Bin absolutely believed what Director Lei said. After packing his luggage, Lin Bin didn't get up either, squatting on the ground, looking up at Linzu, who was sitting in a wheelchair, with a worried look on his face. Seriously, you have to be careful after I leave. The pervert I told you about before has not been caught yet. Remember not to go out these few days. There are enough vegetables stored in the refrigerator. When I come back, I will take you out for a good trip, to make up for it. Become a reincarnation of the extraordinary realm. 2 months have become 4 months. At that time, there is no need to be as anxious as now, and you can also take Linzu out for a walk. Well, I know, you can go and work with peace of mind. Okay. Linzu asked, by the way, how many days will you be out this time? About 10 days. Lin Bin thought about it and decided that it would start in 7 days. With the round trip journey, 10 days would be enough. Okay, I'll remember it. When you are outside, work hard. Don't worry about the things at home. If you need anything, I will trouble the landlord's wife to help me. Noticing Lin Bin's stunned look, he seemed to be confused about why she had such a good relationship with the landlord's wife. Linzu smiled and said, the daughter of the landlord's wife doesn't do well in school. Don't forget that I was also a top student before I got sick, so I coached her a few times, and the effect was good. The landlord's wife is very grateful to me. Then I feel relieved. Lin Bin nodded, thinking that it was no wonder that the landlord's wife always pestered me before, but suddenly stopped pestering me later. It turned out that she found a suitable partner. Indeed, it's not that I don't want to make up for it. The problem is that if one gets 300 points and the other gets 200 points, even if the average of the two is taken, isn't it only 250? It's not that I don't want to make up for it, it's simply because I don't want to hurt the little girl. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. we cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62. How could I not know whether I had benefited from it or not? After saying goodbye to Lenzu, Lin Bin rushed to the World Administration Bureau and confirmed with Raymond whether someone had been sent to protect Lenzu's safety. When he learned that the logistics management staff of the Reincarnation Association would supervise every person entering the community throughout the process, Lin Bin was relieved. In the next few days, he did not rush to the entrance of the secret realm immediately, but lived in the World Administration Bureau, applied for thousands of bullets, and began a wasteful life of performing Kingan and shooting while moving quickly. Pistols can also cause damage to aliens, but the power is not enough, and it is difficult to kill them with one shot. The Desert Eagle Shura has great limitations, and it is difficult to guarantee accuracy, but that is at a long distance. As long as the distance is not too far. If you hit the vital point, it is not a problem to kill the alien. Lin Bin plans to sharpen his gun for the last time. Facing creatures like aliens, the effect of cold weapons may be poor, and hot weapons must be used as the main weapon. In other words, non-secret realm items cannot be brought into the secret realm, otherwise, he would like to apply for a Gatling gun. After all, even the weapons of the Iron Blood warriors can be corroded by the alien blood, and the three-bladed sword may not be able to withstand it. At that time, the main weapon may still be the Desert Eagle Shura and its top Shura blade. Not to mention, after 2 months of hard training, coupled with the gains of Teikai sword, the Immortality True Key has already reached a small scale, and can be used in battle. With sharp ears and eyes, the perception of the outside world has become clearer, and the gun skills and body skills have also improved a lot. I believe that, if I return to the Longman secret realm, even if Yu Huashan directly attacks Lin Bin with the 2 flying blades of the 3-bladed sword at the same time, he will be able to shoot down the flying blades one by one. It would be a simple problem if it was an ordinary pistol, but the recoil of the Desert Eagle Shura is so great that Lin Bin's gun skills have surpassed most of the long-trained reincarnations. To be able to do this, in the blink of an eye, 7 days passed. Sir, please sign for the Samsara item you purchased. Okay, thank you. Lin Bin took the box handed over by the beautiful Samsara logistics lady, and faced the logistics lady's deliberate approach. Sir, do you need me to give you a detailed review of the details of the use of this equipment? No, it's a pity for you to make this trip. You're welcome. The logistics lady walked back a little frustrated. They are logistics personnel who serve the Samsara practitioners exclusively, and they can also enjoy many benefits of the Samsara Association. But after all, they are not the main characters, not even the foils. Once there is any mistake, they may have to go home. Therefore, if they can get the favor of a Samsara practitioner and establish a relationship, they will have a backer. Lin Bin took the task item. After opening it, inside is a black mask, Black Panther helmet, D-level secret realm item. The whole body is cast with an extremely magical metal, which can absorb and transform power, and is the best weapon for body protection. A D-level secret realm item, but the value is only sold for 400 reincarnation points. It should be the old vibranium armor discarded by the Marvel plane Black Panther. Equipment made of vibranium is so cheap that it is almost impossible to get such a bargain price in the official website. Although you will never suffer a loss in the official website, you can't expect to get any bargains. But the player trading area is different. This is not a complete set, but just a helmet. According to the description of the reincarnationist, after he obtained the Black Panther armor, he found that the armor could protect himself, but it was inconvenient to talk and do things with the helmet. Moreover, in some secret realms, black armor covering the face does not look like a good person, but will cause extra trouble, so the helmet is sold separately. And because no matter how good the material is, it can only protect a face. Unless the enemy specifically attacks the face, this thing will not have any effect, which is why it is sold cheaply. But this is what Lin Bin wants. Compared with those girls who are already used to it, boys know how to protect themselves better. Aliens want to parasitize? Bah. I won't even show my mouth, so you can't insert your organs. It's really disgusting to think about it. In order to avoid this disgusting possibility, even if there is a 1% possibility, Linbin feels that the 400 reincarnation points are worth it. After preparing everything, this morning, Linbin arrived at the entrance of the world management early, and the special car had been waiting for a long time. Someone had already been waiting here. Not only Lei Jun, Lei Yimeng and Zukan were also there. She had obviously just returned from the secret realm, and she ran into Linbin on a mission before she had time to rest. At this time, she was wearing a pure white metallic armor with a futuristic color. The slim armor set off her graceful figure, and with the smoke and blood on the armor, she was like a rose blooming on the battlefield. She looked at Linbin with a loving aunt's smile, as if she was watching the character cultivated in Miracle Nikki finally grow up. He exclaimed, "Good boy, you actually took the initiative to apply for the adventure level secret realm. Your progress is much faster than I thought. Do a good job. I'm looking forward to the day when you fight side by side with me." Linbin nodded seriously. He turned his head to look at Lei Jun, and then almost couldn't help laughing. Lei Jun was wearing a spherical head mask that looked like a stone with a hollowed out interior, with only his eyes and mouth exposed. At first glance, the round bull looked like a head that was enlarged by 3. It directly turned Lei Jun into a 3-head body. Although his mouth was still exposed, the 3-head body Lei Jun, the face hugger, wanted to entangle him, and the body size had to be at least 3 times larger. "Isn't this the mask of the red tank?" Linbin patted Lei Jun on the shoulder with approval and said, "Brother Lei, you have also put a lot of effort into it. It's okay. Anyway, we won't lose much money after the mask is hung up and sold." "Didn't you buy the mask?" "I bought it." Linbin put on the Black Panther mask. This time, Zukan couldn't help laughing out loud. Lei Yimeng also had a weird look on his face and said stiffly, "Okay, get in the car quickly. Remember to be careful. Don't die, especially you, Abin. Although you are a senior, you are better at fighting and killing. Listen to Linbin more in the secret realm. Do whatever he tells you to do, and don't ask why. Understand?" "Director Lei understands me." Linbin was moved. "Understand." The two got in the car. After getting in the car, Lei Jun sighed. "Abin, thank you for trusting your brother so much." Linbin asked, "What do you mean? Isn't this your promotion to the secret realm? You actually thought of me for such a big thing." "To be honest, when I heard your invitation, I was so moved." Lei Jun patted Linbin on the shoulder. "Don't worry, the last time was just an accident. This time, brother will definitely show his power and help you through this difficult time. I invited you because I believe in brother Lei's ability." "That's right. This is a good opportunity to refresh my previous bad record. Although I finally appealed the F-level secret realm record, many reincarnations laughed at me, saying that I was relying on my brother the director." I spit on his face. "Don't I know whether I was relying on my brother's help or not? It's true that he has cheated me many times. This time, I want to clear my name." Lei Jun smiled and said, "Anyway, I will do whatever you do. I don't believe that we will be evaluated differently." "Understood. Brothers are of the same mind. Together we can break metal." The two men punched each other, full of fighting spirit. Chapter 63, Entering the Secret Realm. Today's third update. Please recommend. The entrance to the secret realm of Alien vs. Predator is not in Beishu City. It is in a remote suburb of Yunwei City, 300 kilometers away from Beishu City. Of course, in Lei Jun's words, this is what a qualified secret realm entrance should do. Consciously hide in a remote place. Don't be hit by too many people. Otherwise, if there are unrelated ordinary people involved and killed, at that time, all of them will have their wages deducted. 2 hours drive. When the two arrived at the place, in addition to more than 20 professional assistants who were on the scene to control the situation, there were 3 reincarnations who had been waiting for a long time. 2 women and 1 man. One of the women was petite, less than 1.5 meters tall, with 2 childish ponytails, and a pink backpack with a similar dance goddess on her back. She looked more like a little girl who hadn't graduated from junior high school yet. The other one was a beautiful royal sister in her 30s. The moment her eyes fell on Linbin's face, she instantly burst into brilliance. Linbin instantly understood the true meaning of the look with his 40-year experience of being single in his past and present lives. She wants to eat me. And that man was even stranger. His hair was the longest among the three, casually draped behind him, looking friendly and approachable. He smiled and stepped forward to hold Lin Bin's hand, saying, "You are Lin Bin, right? I've heard of you for a long time. I didn't expect that I would have the honor to go through the dungeon with you this time. It seems that this mission is easy to pass." Lin Bin shook his head and said, "We can't be careless in the secret realm. Hesitation will lead to defeat. Carelessness is equivalent to giving up. We should take it seriously to win." Chang Feng hesitated and said, "Rap? Just a joke." Lin Bin glanced deeply at his face and turned to look at the other two women. "I'm the technology enhancer Zhu Can. Just call me Sister Can. I can't tell you my real name." The girl smiled and said, "And don't be fooled by my height of only 1.6 meters. In fact, I'm already 23 years old this year, and I'm already a very mature reincarnation." Lei Chun wore a helmet and said in a buzzing voice, "Nonsense, you are obviously only 1.5 meters. Sorry." It was Lin Bin who hit him from behind. "A technology enhancer. It seems that he is a helper that President Bay arranged for him. It's not easy to offend. But women are really troublesome. They are obviously only 1.5 meters tall, but they insist on saying that they are 1.6 meters tall. Unlike me, 1.8 meters is 1.8 meters, and I will never say 2 centimeters more." He smiled and said, "I suggest that everyone talk about the direction of their own enhancement, so that when we enter the secret realm, we can take care of each other. What do you think?" Zhu Can said, "Okay." The technological enhancer has successfully developed its own folding space. She patted the small backpack of the dancer on her back and said, "There are a large number of lethal weapons stored in it. By the way, I heard from our president that you have a gun, Abin, right? I prepared 50 flaming bullets and 50 freezing bullets for you in advance. The power is much stronger than ordinary bullets, and it also has a splash function. Here you go." "Thank you, Sister Can. I didn't expect that Sister Can is not only beautiful, but also kind-hearted. Don't worry, our president asked me to take care of you. It's rare for her to have a task for me. These bullets are for you. Remember to say a few good words for me in front of the president." Zhu Can smiled and said, "I know you are advancing to the secret realm this time. Sister will listen to you." "Oh, advance to the secret realm?" The woman looked at Lin Bin in surprise. Her eyes paused on his face for an extra second and said in surprise, "But the secret realm, to become a formal reincarnation should not be the adventure level, right? I'm promoted to the extraordinary realm." Lin Bin said, "It's a skip level battle. This is what my leader meant." Chang Feng nodded and said, "If that's the case, then I'll listen to your orders in this secret realm." "Me too. Let me talk about my abilities as well." At that moment, each of them introduced their own abilities. Chang Feng and Lin Bin are both martial arts enhancements and are good at light skills and swordsmanship. But because this secret realm is a technological secret realm, there is no direct competition. Especially when he heard that Lin Bin was promoted to the secret realm, he was very cooperative and said that he would listen to Lin Bin's orders in this secret realm as long as he didn't let him die. This is also common sense. Secret realm promotion is the most important. Once passed, the benefits obtained by the reincarnation will be greatly improved. If you hinder at this time, it will be a life and death feud. And the charming woman actually has a very masculine name, called Sundang. His enhancement direction is supernatural power. The ability is wind. The wind can be compressed or condensed to launch skills such as wind blades or wind cannons. In a sense, it is similar to the attack method enhanced by technology, but it is more convenient. Lin Bin glanced at the four people. Lei Chun is thick-skinned, with high attack and strong defense, and is a mount. Chang Feng and I are melee output, while the two women are ranged output. In a way, it is a reasonable team. Except for the lack of a healer. Wait. Chang Sheng's true key is full of vitality. Could it be that I'm judged as a healer? Not really. Lin Bin thought to himself that I'm a super violent DPS output. The five people got to know each other briefly. It was beyond Lin Bin's expectation. Although they didn't say it secretly, they were still willing to cooperate openly. When all preparations were completed, Please let the 5 reincarnationists enter the secret realm. A man in a white coat wearing gold-rimmed glasses looked at them respectfully, with envy that was hard to conceal in his eyes. For them, the reincarnationists have extraordinary powers and a high status, which naturally makes them look forward to it. But standing outside the besieged city and looking into the besieged city, all they see is a flourishing flower. They are obviously unaware of the risks that the reincarnationists have experienced. The 5 people activated their reincarnation watches and stepped into the dark crack. There was a strange and fantastic scene. Lin Bin was already familiar with this scene. After all, he had experienced it twice before. But this time, as he moved forward, he began to feel an extremely cold feeling around him, making him feel as if he had arrived in the coldest days of winter. Chang Feng could be heard asking in a low voice, "Has everyone prepared cold weather items?" Zhu Kan said, "I put on long johns, which is good enough." Sun Dong replied, "It's okay, I'm wearing stockings, black, cotton and thick Balenciaga silk stockings." Lin Bin and Lei Jun, who even had their faces fully armed, nodded to indicate that they were fine and had made preparations. A moment later, as the bizarre scene ended, everyone had appeared in a dark stone chamber. A cold feeling entangled everyone. It felt like stepping on something sticky under their feet, and there was a fishy smell around them. This feeling is like stepping on shit. After a while, the others slowly got used to the dark environment, and then they realized that they were actually in a closed stone chamber with mucus corpses all over the floor. And the cause of death for everyone was exactly the same, with a huge hole in the chest, and almost all of the internal organs were broken, coupled with the dark and humid environment and the stickiness around them. It felt like they had instantly arrived in hell. But no one showed any fear. Even Zhu Kan, who seemed to be the youngest, was not afraid of this horrific scene. She just sighed, "What a terrible way to die." "So, are these people parasitized?" She turned to look at Lin Bin and asked, "Abin, what are you looking at? Why do you look so ugly?" Lin Bin looked very solemn. He smiled bitterly and said, "I really don't know if I'm being targeted or if my luck is really bad." The eternal life secret gave him much better vision than ordinary people. He could adapt to the dark environment immediately. Therefore, he was able to see the surrounding environment with his own eyes. There were also figures stuck to the wall by mucus. Among them, there were several huge figures with a body size of more than 2 meters. The dark body, ferocious claws, and terrible faces that were completely contrary to human beings looked even more terrifying than the aliens. Iron-blooded warriors. Or rather, iron-blooded warriors who have been parasitized by aliens. Chapter 64. This is being forced into a corner. At this time, everyone noticed what Lin Bin was looking at. In this huge stone room, the walls were covered with thick mucus, like a cage, that imprisoned more than a dozen figures. Among them were humans with the same face as them, and many monsters with strange bodies. Is this one of the 2 alien creatures mentioned in the guide? How did they get trapped here? Sun Dong said in surprise. "Wait, isn't this Leak Box?" "What?" Several people looked at Sun Dong in surprise at the same time. Sun Dong explained, "Leak Box is her reincarnation name. She is from Dongying, but she married to our China and later became a reincarnation. In order to retain the characteristics of her Dongying name and integrate into China as soon as possible so that Chinese people will feel close to her, she gave her reincarnation name Leak Box, but she should have died in the training, but she didn't expect it to be in this copy. Wait, she is still alive. Save her quickly." As she said, she waved her hand. A strong wind blew in the stone room. Several cyan wind blades cut through the mucus, and the Leak Box fell directly and was caught by Sun Dong. "Box, are you okay?" she called several times in succession. Finally, Lin Bin couldn't bear it anymore, so he covered her chest with his hand and poured the immortality into her. The Leak Box slowly opened her eyes, saw Sun Dong, and asked, Who are you?" Sun Dong said anxiously, "I'm Sun Dong, don't you remember me?" "Sun Dong? Why are you wearing women's clothes?" "No, I was." "What's wrong with you?" The Leak Box slowly regained consciousness and smiled bitterly. "I'm not clean anymore. They are so excessive, forcing it into my mouth and forcing me to swallow it." "What?" The leak box suddenly widened her eyes, a look of pain appeared on her face, and she screamed, "Go, quickly. This secret realm is very dangerous. You will all die. You will all die. Go. Here it comes." Linbin could clearly sense the changes in her body. Something was brewing, and then, it exploded. With a puff, blood mixed with fragments of internal organs splattered. Her chest had exploded, and a snake-like monster swooshed out and flew away. Linbin had been prepared for a long time, and fired a shot with a bang. The monster fell to the ground, screamed a few times, and did not move. With a hissing sound, everyone watched as the place, where the monster fell, was gradually corroded into a deep pit. The terrible corrosion made everyone's face change in shock. Is this parasitism? Sundown witnessed with his own eyes the tragic death of a familiar reincarnationist. She said in surprise, "What terrible corrosion." Linbin, Changfeng, you two have to be careful. Don't let your weapons come into contact with these aliens. Otherwise I'm afraid even the most powerful weapons will be corroded. Linbin said, "I have the Desert Eagle Shura." Changfeng smiled bitterly and said, "I can use my internal energy to break their internal organs through the air so that their blood can't flow out. Although it will take some effort, it's the only way." Lei Jun was confused and said, "What about me? What should I do?" "Just kill them, don't fight." As they spoke, everyone's reincarnation watches started beeping at the same time. "The mission is here." Everyone looked down. Secret Realm mission, kill the alien queen. Completion reward 3000 reincarnation points, sea level merit x2. Task time limit 3 days. Task failure penalty 800 points. A strange silence. Changfeng said, "To sea level meritorious service members, it seems that the difficulty of this secret realm is higher than expected." Zhu Can was no longer as calm as before. She was surprised and said, "No, it was clearly a sea level before. Could it be that the secret realm has been upgraded? Why is this? I'm afraid the reason is here." Linbin walked to the wall and put his hand on the chest of one of the Iron Blood warriors. Chang Shengzhenqi just monitored the entire process of the leak box parasitic outbreak. In the last process, he could even feel the pulse of the alien. At this moment, he could clearly sense the same pulse in the other party's body, but it was much stronger. He said, "Everyone here has been parasitized, including these iron-blooded warriors. The parasitism of the alien is not just to absorb the nutrients of the host, but also to obtain their DNA. In other words, the stronger the object of the parasitism, the more terrible their strength. If our enemies before were only aliens and iron-blooded warriors, then now, there may be an iron-blooded alien that combines the strengths of aliens and iron-blooded warriors." Lei Jun asked, "Iron-blooded warrior? Alien? Is that the name you gave them?" "Yes, it's very appropriate, isn't it? One obviously has extremely advanced technology, but prefers close hunting, and the other is weird in shape. The appearance is different when hatched from any organism. It is also appropriate to call it an alien." Sundong said, "Then kill them quickly." "Wait." Linbin waved his hand and said, "I just sensed the entire process of the parasitic outbreak of the leak box. The alien eggs in these people's bodies are far from this stage. It seems that it takes longer to break out from the iron-blooded warrior than from the human body." "You mean? Are you sure this is the first batch of iron-blooded warriors?" Linbin said solemnly, "The mission has been upgraded, and we are the third batch of reincarnations, so this is definitely not the first batch of iron-blooded warriors." "What about the first batch of iron-blooded warriors? Killing them may reduce the difficulty, but there may be a better way." As soon as these words came out, everyone was silent. There was a little pity in their eyes when they looked at Linbin. This is because he was forced into a corner and had to jump over the wall. He had to advance. If he failed, he would have nowhere to cry. As a result, the difficulty of the secret realm increased. Little did he know that Linbin's heart was at ease at this time. Several batches of reincarnations have already entered. The plot was messed up. What Linbin was most worried about was that, after entering this secret realm, he would find that the world was already full of aliens. If this was true, then go to hell. But now it was better. The scene was still in the pyramid. In addition to the large number of aliens before, the enemy might have a few more iron-blooded aliens. As for the first batch of iron-blooded warriors who came to train, It goes without saying that they were completely wiped out by a few human interferences. Now, judging from the clues in the strategy, it is estimated that they also fought a battle with the reincarnators. It would be strange if they were not completely wiped out. As for these extra iron-blooded warriors, needless to say, it must be that the iron-blooded warriors who came to greet them were also defeated. As for why they were not completely wiped out on the spaceship, but were all left in the pyramid, it is probably the fault of the reincarnators. For example, because the plot mission caused the alien queen to wake up early, so she waited for her prey. It is very likely. Fortunately, everything can be saved. Lin Bin said seriously, these iron-blooded warriors are still alive. Although they are parasitized, it will take some time before the iron-blooded alien is born. After the alien is born, there is a few hours of infancy. We can completely use them as rags and use up their last drop of value. No, we can cooperate sincerely. Our enemy is the alien queen, not the iron-blooded warriors. We can save them and make them our thugs. Chapter 65. Grasped. Monthly ticket plus more. Please read. Please vote. Everyone looked at Lin Bin as if he was a terminally ill patient who had been sentenced to death, but was unwilling to struggle and was willing to make a desperate attempt. Don't forget that they are also our enemies. Chang Feng advised kindly. According to the strategy, if they wake up, they will kill us immediately. Before the alien chest exploded, they were our enemies. After the alien chest exploded, they are still our enemies. I think the first priority is to kill them. Then we will face all the risks. Lin Bin said, don't forget one sentence. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Our enemies are undoubtedly aliens, and this pyramid has been open for several days. Do you know how many aliens are in it now? Every living person can give birth to an alien. During this period of time, there are iron blood warriors, aboriginals, reincarnations, and a large number of mercenaries on the periphery. I don't know if they died at the hands of iron blood warriors or aliens. Iron blood warriors are okay. If they are aliens, then the number of aliens in this pyramid is estimated to be a shocking number for us. To be honest, why don't they leave here? I'm still wondering. So what? How are you going to make friends with these iron blood warriors? Sun Dong's tone was a little unfriendly. Or rather, he was still immersed in the grief of his friend's death. It's very simple. Lin Bin looked at the fallen young alien and took off his Black Panther helmet. He picked up a corroded short blade from the side, and it was unknown whether it was the weapon of the Iron Blood Warrior or the Reincarnationist. He lightly touched the highly corrosive blood and then scratched his face. Raymond was shocked and said, Abin, what are you doing? Lin Bin didn't say anything, but endured the pain of corrosion and scratched two shallow scars on his face that were intertwined but not intertwined. He said, look at the foreheads of these iron-blooded warriors. They all have similar scars, with exactly the same injuries, which eliminates the possibility of being injured. The hunting tribe has always had the custom of leaving scars on the body to represent honor after hunting some powerful prey or passing some rigorous tests. Do you think leaving these scars means being recognized? Chang Feng and others looked in the direction Lin Bin pointed and indeed saw the almost exactly the same scars on their foreheads. The look in their eyes when they looked at Lin Bin was immediately amazing. They didn't expect that in this situation he could still be so meticulous. They were all only paying attention to the sticky liquid. Who would pay attention to the face covered with mucus? He asked back, but we are human beings. But they are not the first batch of iron-blooded warriors, which means they may not know who left the scar. What if they mistakenly think that the scar was left by the previous batch of iron-blooded warriors? Lin Bin said, it is a good direction. Let's wake up one first. If we can gain his trust, we can wake up all the others. If not, we can kill them all. Chang Feng looked at Lin Bin deeply and said, I finally understand why you were able to pass the killing level secret realm before. To be honest, if there was no burden that slowed you down at that time, would you have been able to get S level? Cough 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 cough. Lei Chun suddenly coughed violently. Lin Bin said with a smile, you think too much. Chang Feng praised, no, observe carefully, make bold guesses, and verify carefully. Although you are young, you have already understood the rules of the reincarnation space better than us. Lin Bin thought to himself that I just know the plot. Although the plot is no longer reliable now, the clues revealed in the plot are the most authentic and detailed strategies. If nothing unexpected happens, the protagonist Charles and his friends have probably become the mother of the aliens, and the three little iron warriors may not be spared. After all, the reincarnations are not ordinary people. The damage they can cause is sometimes far greater than that of ordinary people. There are also these iron warriors in these reincarnations. If it is just an ordinary alien, it would be fine, but if there is an iron alien, just relying on the 5 of them, it is really a bit inadequate. We need help. Lin Bin looked at the others. Lei Jun took off his helmet and followed Chang Feng, while Zhu Kankan pouted, feeling a little sorry for her face, but at least she knew the importance of it. She said, I'd better use a knife. Using such corrosive things, what if I can't get rid of it in the future? Lend it to me after you use it. Sun Dong's gender is a mystery, but it does not prevent him from loving beauty. The 5 people soon made similar scars on their faces. It looks like a cult that is materializing a secret gathering, and Lin Bin is undoubtedly the leader of the cult. He placed his hand on one of the iron warriors, who was obviously the leader, and the immortality key penetrated into his body and began to stimulate this body crazily, suppressing the alien embryo in the body. The unborn aliens have extremely strong vitality, especially when they are combined with the heart. They will even protect the safety of the host to ensure that their vitality is always strong until they break out of the body. And with the stimulation, the Iron Warrior, who was already very alert, suddenly widened his eyes, and his hideous outer teeth expanded to the surroundings like a carnivorous plant, and let out a painful roar. Calm down. Lin Bin's immortality key continued to be delivered, infusing him with vitality. The Iron Warrior's dark eyes looked at Lin Bin deeply, and seemed to realize that under the touch of the man in front of him, his strength was recovering little by little. Can you understand what I say? Lin Bin asked. The Iron Warrior lowered his head, and stared at Lin Bin, his eyes attracted by the scar on his face. Whether you can understand or not, you have been parasitized, understand? Lin Bin gently patted his chest and said. The tall Iron Warrior looked down at his chest, and his bloody mouth slowly closed, as if he had realized what was happening. I'll put you down. Lin Bin drew out the 3-edged sword from his waist sword, and with a few slashes, the Iron Warrior who was stuck on it fell directly down, standing firmly on the ground. He actually didn't attack us. This scar. Dad, save us. Zhu Kankan realized that he almost let the cat out of the bag, and hurriedly changed his words. Lin Bin let go. Picking up a telescopic spear on the ground, he handed it to the Iron Warrior and said, being parasitized by the alien, you are dead, but you can choose a more glorious way to die. For example, if you die in battle, you should have a few hours. Let's go kill the alien queen together, and avenge our comrades. How about it? The Iron Warrior made a series of snoring sounds like a beast. He did not answer, but turned around, and pulled out a mask from the mucus, slowly covering his head. Then, there was a deep and heavy voice, saying simply, okay. With a snort, the small short spear turned directly into a long spear. Lin Bin suddenly realized that when the Iron Blood Warrior communicated with the aliens, they relied on the function of the helmet to communicate. He turned around and said, save all the Iron Blood Warriors, pay attention, observe their status. If the aliens are about to break out of the body, kill them directly to prevent the aliens from being born. Chang Feng and others were all sweating when they heard this. Don't be polite in front of them, just kill them if there is a problem. This is to use these people as tools. Is this guy really not afraid that these Iron Blood Warriors will defect directly? But unexpectedly, this Iron Blood Warrior did not show any anger, but nodded in approval. It feels. I have it under control. Chapter 66 The Alien Queen Who Got the Protagonist Template. Please collect. Soon, all 5 Iron Blood Warriors on the wall were rescued. However, without the stimulation of the immortal key, their awakening was obviously much slower than that of the Iron Blood Warrior who was leading the group. The Iron Blood Warrior in front of him could communicate, so Lin Bin also asked what happened in this secret realm. The Iron Blood Warrior spoke very little, and his words were concise and his expression was also concise. After his narration, Lin Bin finally understood what was going on. For the Iron Blood Warriors, this was originally just an extremely ordinary assessment. As long as 3 underage Iron Blood warriors entered this pyramid and killed the hatched aliens, they would have completed the adult ceremony. But who knew that just before they entered, 2 groups of people entered the pyramid separately. One of them took away their shoulder cannons, and when the shoulder cannons left their original position, it meant that the adult ceremony assessment began. The aliens began to hatch ahead of time, and because the number of people entering was far more than the previously established number, the number of aliens that appeared was also more than the budget. The 3 underage Iron Blood warriors hurried into the examination room. As a result, before they encountered the aliens, they were sniped by humans. These humans actually had combat power comparable to that of the Iron Blood warriors. Although the Iron Blood warriors lost their shoulder cannons, they still had other weapons, especially with the ability of the invisible cloak. They fought these people and both sides were injured. The captain of the 3 underage Iron Blood warriors even died tragically at the hands of these people. For the Iron Blood warriors, this was obviously a great shame. Even if they died at the hands of the aliens, the Iron Blood warriors would never interfere with their assessment. If they were defeated on the battlefield, death would be the only destination. But now, before they sat down at the examination seat, they were attacked by people who had nothing to do with the examination. Of course, although the Iron Blood warrior said the attack, from his tone, it should be that the Iron Blood warrior was doing a routine cleaning of the battlefield, but ended up sweeping up a tough guy. Encountered a reincarnation. Linbin couldn't help curling his lips. After encountering the aliens, the reincarnations would definitely not create additional enemies, as long as they were not stupid. Unfortunately, the predator was too brutal. After the 2 sides started fighting, there was no chance to clear up the misunderstanding. In fact, the reason why Scar was able to form an alliance with the heroine in the plot was entirely because the heroine was too weak and the predator had no habit of killing women and children. The predator could talk to him so calmly because of the scar on his face, which made him mistakenly think that he had fought side by side with a predator. In order to ensure the smooth progress of the coming of age ceremony, we entered the pyramid and began to eliminate these powerful humans. This tall iron-blooded warrior was the captain of these iron-blooded warriors. He said, but unexpectedly, we did not find any traces of these people. Instead, we were attacked by the alien queen shortly after entering. It had broken free, and there were a large number of powerful aliens around it to assist. We worked hard to kill those powerful aliens, but were caught off guard and injured. They were parasitized by them. According to our speculation, these people were picked up by the aliens after they were both injured by Bolt and others. The more powerful the aliens parasitize, the stronger they are. So we were caught off guard and became their prey. Linbin was silent after hearing this. In fact, he was wrong. The first batch of reincarnations failed in their mission and fled, and brought back a lot of information. This batch should be the reincarnations who cared against the 3 little ones. After the failure of the first batch, the reincarnation space immediately arranged for the second batch of reincarnations to enter. The second group went straight to the aliens, but they encountered mature aliens, and possibly the iron-blooded alien. After all, according to the iron-blooded captain, the reincarnator only killed one of the 3 little ones, and the fate of the other 2 should not be too long. Failure is also reasonable. The failure of the iron-blooded warrior was due to the attack of the reincarnator alien and the alien queen. At this point, the plot is basically clear. It can only be said that the alien queen took advantage of the time difference and turned into a template for the protagonist. The enemy calculated its strength and sent a Linoop that could crush it, but it upgraded when the time came. So far, it has become the final winner. We must kill the alien queen. Although the coming of age ceremony has failed, those people have protected this world and prevented the alien queen from escaping. If you don't want to die, you must help us kill the alien queen. Otherwise, we must destroy the civilization of this world, and you will surely die. Captain Ironblood stood up and said, now, you still have a chance to make amends. Linbin said seriously, this is also the reason why I will save you. Don't worry, we will definitely cooperate with you. Captain Ironblood did not ask what the relationship between Linbin and those mysterious strong men was. Now both sides have people parasitized by aliens. And from the mark on his face, he should have worked with the Ironblood warriors. Moreover, the Iron Blood warriors have turned from their previous strength to a decline. Although they are bloodthirsty, they are not stupid. They have realized that their current state cannot withstand a two-front war. Destroying this civilization is easy to say, but it also means that their previous investment in this planet will also be burned. Therefore, unless it is absolutely necessary, he is unwilling to do so. While talking, many Iron Blood warriors have also recovered. The Iron Blood warrior turned around and said to them, #****. It was a word that they couldn't understand. The Iron Blood warriors communicated with each other in their native language. The remaining 4 Iron Blood warriors heard it, but did not react. They just silently picked up the weapons scattered on the ground. The Iron Blood captain turned to look at Lin Bin and said, "Follow us closely and kill the queen." Understood. Lin Bin turned back and shouted, "Remember, fully cooperate with our comrades." The mark has been displayed, and he directly put on the Black Panther helmet. Lei Jun also put on the red tank helmet again, and Chang Feng and others became excited. Cooperation? So, we have directly changed from the previous main attack team to the second line team. Abin is awesome. The number of the 5-man team doubled directly. Led by the Iron Blood captain, 10 people stepped out of the stone chamber and walked towards the depths of the pyramid. The surroundings were dark and cold. As they stepped out of the stone chamber, they could vaguely sense a chilly chill in the surroundings, as if there were poisonous snakes hiding in the shadows, staring at them. Lin Bin raised his hand. No need to aim anymore. He fired a shot. Swish. A facehugger that flew overhead was shot directly, and then it was frozen into a block of ice, smashing hard on the ground. Frost filled the ground and spread to all directions. The 5 iron-blooded warriors all turned their heads and looked at Lin Bin in shock. They were obviously shocked. Human technology has not yet developed such a powerful bullet. Lin Bin also looked at Zhu Kan in surprise. He really didn't expect it to be so powerful. Zhu Kan chuckled, then took off the blindfold in annoyance and complained, "Thermal imaging doesn't work on these guys. If it worked, we wouldn't have fallen to this point." Captain Tiksu picked up the frozen facehugger and said, "It seems that you are better than I thought. Be careful, there are aliens coming." Lin Bin thought to himself that your thermal imaging doesn't work, but my immortal key is really too sensitive to this kind of death breath. Chapter 67 Killing. This was the real surprise. In the pitch black environment, the existence of the aliens could not be seen clearly. Even if the Iron Blood warriors had a thermal imaging sensor system, it was difficult to detect the traces of these cold-blooded animals. On the contrary, Lin Bin's true energy was full of vitality and unexpectedly reacted to these monsters that were not in the same system. I couldn't see it, but I could feel that there was something that made my whole body numb. I fired again and again. In the dark and silent environment, there were bursts of fierce roars, followed by a rustling sound. There was also the sound of heavy objects falling to the ground. Obviously, with the power of the Desert Eagle Shura, it is not difficult to kill the aliens at close range, but at a distance of dozens of meters. Plus it was originally a blind shot. The lethality was originally weakened a lot. But Zhu Kan's weapon was too powerful. There were actually 2 or 3 sounds of heavy objects falling to the ground. Especially the fire from the explosion in the distance, briefly illuminating the environment in the distance. You can see the long black tail disappearing quickly like a snake. Awesome. Lin Bin finally understood why Bayuki said he would provide him with a reliable assistant. Just this kind of bullet. Sure enough, technological enhancement is more suitable for firearms. Especially since he had previously spent 2,000 reincarnation points to buy a storage belt from a low-level secret realm. If you really choose technological enhancement, you can have your own folding space, which is much larger than a storage bag. It seems that after the martial arts are enhanced to a certain level, you can choose to take into account technological enhancement. It must be mentioned that as an old reincarnationist, Bayuki easily grasped Lin Bin's mind. Seeing Lin Bin killing everyone, the eyes of several other reincarnationists were red with envy. Although there is no letter reminder of reincarnation points plus 100, reincarnation points plus 100. But although the reincarnationists form a team, they can only benefit from it and cannot share it. Individual performance will still be settled in the end. Although we are not in a competitive relationship where you get more and I get less, seeing others leisurely getting S-level evaluations and double rewards while they have to reduce their rewards because of AFK will definitely make people feel uncomfortable. Zukankan flipped her little hand, raised her skirt, and took out a giant gun that was taller than her. The silver gun body was icy, and the muzzle, which was almost as thick as her arm, was dark and deep. The appearance of the gun looked like a giant barrett, but the magazine was more than 2 meters long and hung horizontally on the ground. She aimed for a long time, then stomped her feet in anger and said angrily, "My thermal imager is completely useless. How can I fight this? Here they come." The iron-blooded captain shook his hand casually, and the short spear in his hand turned into a long spear, twisting his body and swinging his arm. The long spear shot out like a giant arrow, and with a hiss, it had directly penetrated the alien that rushed to the front, and the juice splashed everywhere. Wherever it fell, there was a burst of hissing corrosion sound. The iron-blooded captain was extremely fast, piercing through with a spear, and then he rushed forward like a gust of wind, kicking the alien corpse with his 49-yard-long foot, kicking it away, and pulling the spear out of its body. His body, which looked extremely strong, was more flexible than the best gymnast. At the end of the dark passage ahead, dozens of shadows quietly crawled towards this side. On the ground, on the wall, on the top. They seemed to have escaped the constraints of gravity, and their movements were as fast as ghosts, but they did not make any movement at all, and there was no breath of life. If you don't see it with your naked eyes, I'm afraid that even the strongest ones would not be able to detect their silent approach. Roar! The Iron Blood warriors roared and rushed forward. They fought hand to hand with these aliens. Compared with the Iron Blood warriors, the reincarnationists are better. Ahahaha, come on, take my shot. Zukankan's face was full of morbid smiles, and he shouted, "Take my shot." In just a few seconds, hundreds of bullets had been poured out. A dozen aliens in front were directly mowed into meat paste. There are also some behind. Lei Jun moved the fastest, but this time he rushed to the front. He rushed to the other side quickly. His muscles were twisted and swollen, becoming much taller than the iron-blooded warriors. In the reflection of the roaring light of Linban and Zukankan's gunfire, the huge black shadow looked more like a monster than the alien. He rushed forward and punched twice. With pure absolute muscle strength, Lei Jun could even compete with the reincarnationists who had entered the saint level. He punched one alien with one punch. Then he retreated with a howl. The alien was very intelligent. Even if it was injured, it would spit out blood to corrode the enemies around it. After 2 punches, Lei Jun's boxing gloves were broken. Alas, the aliens are really not friendly to close combat. Chang Feng muttered and rushed towards the aliens. These monsters, which are extremely ferocious to ordinary people, are actually much slower than him. With his quick and light skills, he easily avoided the lightning-like tail sting and then lightly slapped it on the head. The aliens immediately piled up on the ground. They seemed to be intact on the outside, but their insides were rotten into a pool of mud. He killed them with one blow, but he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. It's too tiring, and you have to get close. It's more convenient to face these monsters from a distance. Watching Sundong's arms flying, every time he raised them, several invisible wind blades slashed at the aliens. The aliens were still more than 10 meters away, but they were already cut into several pieces. And a few particularly sensitive aliens flew over along the gaps in the wind blades, but were blasted away by her wind cannons. Although they were not injured or killed, the distance was widened. A perfect turret. Each of the reincarnationists had their own methods. Facing these ordinary aliens, it was not a big problem to kill them, especially with Zukankan's firepower cover. Her bullets even had a plasma effect. Once they hit, they immediately exploded and triggered a chain reaction, blowing the surrounding aliens into pieces. The battle came quickly and went quickly. Dozens of aliens that attacked were annihilated under the fierce artillery fire of the Iron Blood reincarnation team, whose strength had greatly increased. Especially as the last alien finally rushed to Lin Bin's front with the cover of his companions. He was kicked back several meters away by a whip kick, and then the pistol roared, and supplemented with a flaming bomb. After a headshot, it fell to the ground and died. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. No one was injured. In other words, Facing these aliens, either they were not injured, or once they were injured, they would probably be corroded by their blood, and at the very least they would be disabled. He looked back at everyone, and was about to speak, but suddenly a chill hit his heart. The sensitive nose smelled a very fishy smell. So close. Lin Bin did not move his body, but exerted a little force on his feet. He released a little more ki in his impatience. But it was precisely because of the extra ki that he released. He was faster. He suddenly moved 3 feet horizontally. A long black cold tail suddenly pierced the air. Everyone be careful, there is another one. Lin Bin shouted, raised his hand and shot, but found that he could not find any trace of the enemy. The coldness just now. Could it be that only when it releases hostility to me can my longevity ki sense its existence? Just as he was surprised, Captain Tiksu roared, slashed out with his spear, and a stream of green blood spurted out. The opponent was not a vegetarian either. The iron tail was like a steel whip, hitting Captain Tiksu's chest fiercely, and directly knocked him out more than 10 meters away. Chapter 68. He really? I cried to death. Zukan reacted the fastest. She screamed and turned her gun around, and fierce flames erupted. Lin Bin also raised his gun to shoot. The blazing bullets mixed with several wind cannons fired over. Countless pieces of rubble fell, but the attacker had disappeared without a trace. So powerful. Several reincarnations looked a little solemn. The alien came quickly and left quickly, attacking Lin Bin, and knocking the iron-blooded captain away. From beginning to end, none of them could see its appearance clearly. It should be the iron-blooded alien, Lin Bin said with a heavy face. He said, this is also the reason why the danger of this pyramid has suddenly increased a lot more than before. The aliens will absorb the DNA of the species they parasitize, and the DNA of the iron-blooded warrior is obviously much stronger than that of humans, so the strength of the iron-blooded alien is also much better than that of ordinary aliens. Everyone immediately understood what Lin Bin meant. The difficulty of the mission increased because of the appearance of the iron-blooded alien. The strength of the alien lies in its silent assassination attacks and reproduction ability. If it fights openly, its real combat power is definitely not as good as that of a Siberian tiger. But the iron-blooded alien is different. Is it the alien that was created after parasitizing us? The iron-blooded captain slowly sat up straight. He couldn't see his facial expression because he was wearing a helmet. Of course, he couldn't see his facial expression even if he didn't wear it. The blow just now obviously broke several of his bones, but for the iron-blooded warrior, this injury was not even a minor injury. But when he heard Lin Bin's words, there was a bit of cruelty in his voice, and this cruelty was obviously directed at himself. He said coldly, we can't let new iron-blooded aliens appear. The iron-blooded warriors didn't care whether the iron-blooded aliens would cause any major consequences. They were just angry that even their bones would be used as a breeding ground after their death. This was inconsistent with their traditions. In comparison, they hoped that their bodies would be cut into pieces and collected. He said in a deep voice, the strength of the iron-blooded alien is beyond imagination. It is too late to rush back to the battleship now. We can only rush in as much as possible and must kill the alien queen. Lin Bin also said coldly, that's right, no matter whether it is the iron-blooded alien or the alien queen, we can't let it go. Next, we will open the way for you. Just now, they experienced a nearly crushing battle. If it weren't for the iron-blooded alien's final comeback, which gave everyone a chill, the fully equipped Samsara team, plus 5 super powerful output iron-blooded warriors, almost crushed the ordinary aliens. This also allowed both camps to see the combat effectiveness of the other side. Although the type is a bit single, these iron-blooded warriors are not weaker than the Samsara in terms of combat effectiveness. Even if it is a life and death fight, the chances of winning may be even greater. After all, they are natural hunters. From this point of view, Lin Bin had just entered the secret realm and turned enemies into friends. This was a very wise decision. If he were to be enemies with these iron warriors, the aliens and the iron aliens at the same time, he would definitely die. Except for Lei Jun, who was a little distressed. There was a flaw in the plan. According to his original idea, his target was not the aliens, but the iron warriors. Through the previous strategy, the conclusion was very simple. The iron warriors were a race with a very high and developed civilization, but they were keen on hand-to-hand combat. How similar was it to him? He really liked the fist to flesh fighting method. Therefore, he had even prepared his words. Leave the Iron Warrior to me. I'm not good at dealing with the aliens, so you guys can deal with them. But now, the Iron Warrior he wanted to deal with was saying righteously, I don't know how long I can hold on, but we will try our best to buy you enough time. Remember, if we show any abnormality, kill us immediately, don't hesitate. Lei-chan. I'm crying. Let's go. After being hit hard by the iron-blooded alien, the iron-blooded captain was obviously unwilling to waste any more time. He led the way and ran quickly into the distance. The pyramid itself was built by the iron-blooded warrior. Although it would deform every once in a while, the iron-blooded captain was quite familiar with the environment here. No matter how the pyramid deformed, he could quickly find the right path. Along the way, they were attacked by aliens several times. Even the iron-blooded alien was mixed in. It was extremely intelligent, and the previous foolproof sneak attack was in vain, making it understand that Lin Bin was not easy to kill. So he turned his target to the little girl who looked the easiest to bully. Unfortunately, although the thermal imaging device was useless, as a technology enhancer, Zukankan had many means. On the Yuanxing, there was a saying that was widely circulated. In the secret realm, the strongest profession was a technology enhancer. In reality, the weakest profession was a technology enhancer. To put it bluntly, in a surprise attack, the technology enhancer was extremely weak, but in a fight, the technology enhancer could beat the enemy to the point of calling him daddy. And when did he not prepare in advance when entering the secret realm? Even if there was no temperature, as long as there were living things approaching, he would be bloated out his life. That is to say, the iron-blooded alien had thick skin and flesh, and its defense was much higher than that of ordinary aliens. Otherwise, the automatic macro bombs surrounding Zukankan would explode and directly blow it into mud. At that time, it might really achieve its goal and corrode Zukankan to death with its own bones. It was a pity that it only scared Zukankan and made her cry for a while. The defensive counterattack was automatic by the system, and she herself didn't know anything, and the bomb was automatically triggered. This also made Changfeng and Sundang sweat a few drops on their foreheads. That is, the iron-blooded alien targeted Zukankan, who seemed to be the weakest. Otherwise, if it were them, they would most likely die in this wave of sneak attacks. And this wave of attacks obviously caused the iron-blooded alien to suffer serious injuries. It did not appear again afterwards. Otherwise, the reincarnationists might have suffered casualties. 2 hours later, everyone stepped into an extremely dark and cold place where the alien queen was imprisoned. But at this time, it was silent here. There was only the sticky and wet liquid everywhere under the feet, and the empty embryos left after the hatching of the Fasahiga could be seen everywhere, densely packed. The huge iron chain that imprisoned the alien queen had already been corroded beyond recognition, but even if only the wreckage was left, the huge prison handcuffs that were 4 or 5 meters high still shocked everyone. Are these the shackles used to imprison the alien queen? Sundang raised his hand in shock, as if he wanted to touch the iron frames, but after hesitating for a moment, he stopped, fearing that he would be corroded by the remaining blood. He was shocked and said, not to mention that it is bigger than an ordinary alien. It must be much bigger than the iron-blooded alien, right? Our mission. It really escaped. Captain Iron-Blooded said, it seems that we must directly carry out a major cleansing of this planet. Lin Bin, wait, this is your trial field, just blow it up like that? Shouldn't you send some elites to kill the aliens first? If you can't do it, then directly destroy this civilization. Captain Iron-Blooded said, I'm that elite. Lin Bin, if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69 Reduction of Personnel. Is he the elite Ironblood? Lin Bin took a serious look at the Ironblood captain, and then he found that the Ironblood warrior in front of him looked familiar, and he seemed much older than other Ironblood warriors, and one of his fangs was missing. It was just that the Ironblood warriors were too similar, so he didn't notice this detail before. The Iron Blood warrior who was parasitized was actually a lone wolf. This group of Iron Blood warriors responsible for cleaning up the aliens was led by a lone wolf, and they were parasitized at the beginning. This plot is really a mess. Suddenly, a painful roar sounded behind him. One of the 5 Iron Blood warriors who had been fighting bravely before squatted on the ground in pain. "I can't hold on anymore," he growled, raised the wrist blade on his arm, and stabbed it into his heart without hesitation. Then he fell to the ground powerlessly. The reaction of the Iron Blood warrior was not slow. From the roar to the time when everyone looked back, they only saw that one Iron Blood warrior had been killed, and in full view of everyone. With a puff, a young alien with a metallic luster burst out of its chest, and a sharp hiss came out of its mouth. Everyone could see clearly that its teeth seemed to be made of steel, which was completely different from ordinary aliens. Iron-blooded alien. The attack that the Iron-blooded warrior just made failed to kill this young alien. Do it. As the only 2 reincarnations with hot weapons, Linbin and Zukan reacted very quickly. The bullets poured down like a rainstorm and hurricane, directly blasting the still immature Iron-blooded alien into pieces. Roar. Suddenly, an extremely angry roar sounded behind him. A huge black shadow more than 3 meters long pounds towards Sundang. The Iron-blooded alien had been quietly following behind Linbin and the others, but it did not show its strength until it found that its newly born compatriots had been killed. It showed up in anger. It was just that it was very afraid of the 2 people who killed its compatriots. Therefore, the target this time was chosen to be Sundang. Lone Wolf reacted very quickly. Seeing the Iron-blooded alien rushing down, he rushed to Sundang first. Facing the tail spike that was shot at him, he turned over and twisted his waist, and the sharp tail spike brushed past his waist. Ignoring the wound on his waist, Lone Wolf suddenly exerted force with both hands, tightly grasped the long tail that was like a steel whip, and with a loud shout, he had already pulled the Iron-blooded alien down from the top of the stone. The Iron-blooded alien also reacted very quickly. In midair, its body that was originally stretched straight was like a stretched longbow, and it immediately curled up into a ball, and in turn entangled Lone Wolf's arm, and opened its mouth to tear at his shoulder. Lone Wolf's free-hand stabbed backhand, and the wrist knife pierced the Iron-blooded alien's jaw with a blow, and blood spurted out immediately. The Iron-blooded alien wailed in pain, spurting out countless blood foam, all of which were stained on Lone Wolf's body. One man and one beast, both injured, howling in pain at the same time. Sundang's face changed drastically, looking at the 2 monsters that were almost injured in an instant. He wanted to take action several times, but the alien and the Lone Wolf were entangled together, and there was no room for intervention. On the contrary, the other 3 Iron-blooded warriors reacted very quickly, rushed forward, and clamped the Iron-blooded alien. The corroded weapons were still comparable to the sharpest weapons in their hands, and they directly cut off the alien's tail that was entangled with the Lone Wolf, along with the Lone Wolf's arm. In the spray of blood, the man and the beast were forced to separate. "Get out of my way," Zukan screamed, and the flames spewed out, directly tearing the already seriously injured Iron-blooded alien into pieces. In terms of heavy firepower, no one can compare with the well-prepared technology enhancer. Lone Wolf retreated quickly, put out his hand to cover the wound, looked at Sundang coldly, and said, "If it weren't for the tacit cooperation of your teammates, this Iron-blooded alien would have escaped. You had such a good opportunity just now. Why didn't you kill us?" This. Sundang's beautiful face turned pale, and he said in shock, "Are you crazy? You are sick." Lone Wolf said, "We have all been parasitized by the alien. If we want to get out alive, we should have fled here and returned to the battleship to perform an open heart surgery to remove the alien embryo. The reason we stay here is to complete our mission. We can die for the mission, but you don't even have the courage to sacrifice your teammates for the mission. Don't blame her too much. You have to understand that sometimes sacrificing teammates requires more courage than sacrificing yourself." Linbin patted Lone Wolf on the shoulder and said, "But fortunately the Iron-blooded alien is dead. Next, we just need to find the alien queen and kill it. By then, you don't have to destroy this planet." "Who told you that there is only one Iron-blooded alien?" Lone Wolf said, "We came here because we detected that the examiner of this test and all the tribesmen who were taking the test had lost their life signs. However, we were attacked just after falling, and then all 5 of us were parasitized. So is there a possibility that most of the tribesmen who died before us have also been transformed and parasitized, thus giving birth to the iron-blooded aliens? It can be seen. After fighting side by side all the way, Lone Wolf's trust in Lin Bin is already very high, so he has actually thought of these conjectures a long time ago, but he only told Lin Bin now. In his opinion, Lin Bin and the seemingly delicate little girl are both determined warriors. On the contrary, the human who looks unbelievably strong is just a facade, and is not even as strong as the 2 thin men. Chang Feng said in surprise, that means there is more than one iron-blooded alien. Follow the alien queen, we will definitely find the iron-blooded alien. The lone wolf with only one arm left casually bandaged the wound, and pointed to the ground under his feet and said, I can see the traces of the alien queen's escape. It seems that they only tore the shackles, but they still have some on their bodies. Chase. But we don't have much time. Once you find an accident, remember, don't show mercy. We can't let new iron-blooded aliens be born. Understood. Everyone followed the lone wolf's direction and saw a shallow drag mark on the ground. It should be because the alien queen is huge, but her claws are not as dexterous as humans, so the shackles on her body cannot be removed. At this moment, everyone hurriedly chased in the direction where the alien queen fled. Along the way, there are still a large number of aliens invading, but these ordinary aliens can hardly pose a threat to Lin Bin and his team. They can't target their hostile murderous intent like the iron-blooded aliens, but the murderous intent that is scattered outside can be easily sensed by the eternal life secret. So, it was back to the initial state of Lin Bin's scoring. Many aliens were killed by Lin Bin's Desert Eagle Shura before they even showed their heads. If there were too many aliens, it would be Zukankan's time to show off. Especially Zukankan had a very long range, plus sufficient ammunition, and she didn't know how big her folding space was. She was equipped with a wide variety of weapons, including sniper rifles, single-person cannons, laser guns, and other weapons. It felt like an infinite gun system. But the Iron-Blood alien didn't appear again until everyone ran halfway. The second Iron-Blood warrior was running, and suddenly he knelt on one knee, covered his chest in pain and shouted, "It's coming out. Do it." Lone Wolf shouted, but didn't do it immediately. Instead, he threw out his spear, took 2 steps back, and began to operate something on his mask with his one arm. Another Iron-Blood warrior took the spear and killed the Iron-Blood warrior who was whimpering in pain with a puff. Then a roar like that of a baby animal sounded, but compared to the baby animal's baby voice, this voice was cold and sharp, making people feel cold all over. Alas, what a pity, what a pity. Lei Jun looked helpless, watching the iron-blooded alien baby being beaten to death. Unfortunately, even the alien baby has thick skin and flesh. He had just fought with an alien for a long time, and did not dare to punch through its body. He could only desperately pierce the wall. As a result, he didn't die after piercing for a long time. In the end, he shamelessly borrowed Lin Bin's Desert Eagle Shura. At a very close distance, he shot the alien to death with 3 consecutive shots, and almost poked the gun head into the alien's mouth. The rubbing gun technique made Lin Bin a little puzzled. With such a poor gun technique, what did Lei Meng mean by giving him the Desert Eagle Shura for self-defense? Is Lei Jun really his younger brother? Chapter 70 The situation spreads. Successfully killed the second newly born iron-blooded alien baby. This time, no iron-blooded alien came out to mess things up. And with the death of the second iron-blooded warrior, even Chang Feng and others couldn't bear it. According to their original intention, they obviously regarded these iron-blooded warriors as meat shields. But now they have fought side by side for several battles, especially the iron-blooded warriors who fought bravely and fought to the death to protect each other. They have already developed some comradeship. Now seeing that their own people don't take their own lives seriously, for a moment, the feeling is quite complicated. And with the death of the iron-blooded alien, Lone Wolf operated on the helmet for a while, and after a while, a sharp cry began to sound from his helmet. He actually reproduced the miserable cry of the iron-blooded alien before it died. Everyone immediately understood what he meant. The iron-blooded alien just now had been lurking around everyone, and only at the moment, when his compatriot died tragically, could he not suppress the anger in his heart, and rushed out angrily. Lone Wolf was obviously fishing. Let's go. The lone wolf walked forward. Behind him, a few silent people followed, attracted by the screams of the iron-blooded aliens. As they walked along, more and more aliens emerged from the surrounding area. Obviously, even as a bloodthirsty race, they still care about their compatriots. Or maybe this is also the characteristic of ethnic creatures. The bullets that Zukankan gave to Linbin were quickly used up. Linbin had to switch to ordinary bullets. However, after losing the characteristics of freezing bullets and explosive incendiary bullets, the lethality was also greatly reduced. Zukankan's weapons and bullets were specially made in advance, and there were not enough means for her to prepare at the moment. Fortunately, the aliens were not endless. After several waves of difficult attacks, especially during this process, another iron-blooded warrior fell to the ground, but at this time everyone was fighting with the aliens, so they failed to kill the iron-blooded alien cub in the first place. As a result, it rushed directly to the corner, and then everyone watched helplessly as a long giant tail rolled down and directly rolled the iron-blooded alien cub away. Even if a normal alien straightens its body, it is at most about the same size as a human, and its tail is obviously not that long. Iron-blooded alien. Sure enough, Lone Wolf's guess was not wrong. There are more than one iron-blooded alien, but the intelligence of the iron-blooded alien is obviously much higher than that of ordinary aliens, so that although it is attracted by the sound, it hides in the dark and does not reveal any trace. This time, even Lone Wolf is helpless. Obviously, he did not expect that, after parasitizing the iron-blooded warrior, the intelligence and experience it showed would be so terrifying. Let's go. Capture the king first, kill the alien queen, and then slowly find a way to deal with these iron-blooded aliens. Everyone continued to follow the traces, but after walking for a while, they found that the drag marks were gone. Or rather, there were drag marks and cuts everywhere, which looked like a very tragic battle. The traces have been destroyed. It seems that the enemy doesn't want us to find the alien queen. Linbin said, the IQ of these iron-blooded aliens is too high, right? They have learned to destroy the corpses and the traces? As expected, aliens are aliens, and iron-blooded aliens are iron-blooded aliens. They are not the same race at all. But here, we don't need traces anymore. Lone Wolf said in a deep voice, there is only one way to go forward, the way out. The alien queen has left the pyramid. What? Everyone was stunned when they heard this, obviously not expecting this possibility. They were directly landed in this pyramid. They thought that the alien queen was also in this pyramid, but they never thought that it had already left the pyramid. What was the meaning of the reincarnation space landing them in the pyramid? Let's go. Lone Wolf suddenly paused uncomfortably, groaned a few times, and said, I can feel that I can't hold on for too long. I must kill the alien queen, and all the iron-blooded aliens. Not a single one can be left. Let's act quickly. Okay. Everyone ran out quickly. At this point, the number of aliens has gradually decreased. Only a few of them jumped out sporadically. They were blasted into pieces by Zukankan before Lone Wolf and his group had even had time to show their strength. The blood of the aliens is extremely corrosive, but unfortunately, it is useless if they cannot touch them. Everyone quickly ran to the entrance of the pyramid. An extremely narrow and long circular tunnel slanted up to the top beyond the site, but at this time, the originally smooth tunnel was covered with traces of trampling. Sundong's observation ability was obviously quite sharp. She touched the ice and said, this thick ice has been frozen for who knows how many years. It is very hard. It can even leave footprints. Ordinary aliens can't do it at all. At least they have to be as tall as the iron-blooded alien. Or there is also the alien queen. Linbin said, so, we didn't encounter too many iron-blooded aliens in this pyramid, because the real iron-blooded alien army had already left the pyramid, and the ones left behind may only be the remnants of the team. Let's go. Lone Wolf didn't say anything more, but his voice was much lower. Worst case scenario. The alien queen breaks away, and with its ability to lay eggs, the outside world is likely to be a vast ocean of aliens. Once the alien queen's eggs spread, it won't take long for them to completely occupy a planet and turn all the people on the planet into their own kind. At that time, even if the strongest Iron Blood warrior elder comes here, he will die. The only way to completely destroy the planet is to use high-tech weapons directly. But for the Iron Blood warriors, this is already their complete failure. Killing the aliens in this way is the greatest insult to them. It can only be said that the Iron Blood warriors love the aliens too deeply. Loving them so much that they can't kill them with their own hands is a failure. There is no doubt. Lone Wolf failed. Not only did he lose his life, but he also lost his lifelong honor. Do I think we still need to go out? Or just stay here until the mission fails? Chang Feng suggested. Let's go. Can you be content if you don't go out and take a look? Lin Bin said, and even if the aliens really breed a large number of aliens, we have Can Can. Zhu Can Can. Call her sister Can Can. Lin Bin changed his words and said, we have sister Can Can. With her heavy firepower as cover, we have a chance to take the enemy general's head in the midst of thousands of troops. Okay. Indeed, it's not in line with my character to run away just after discovering a little trace of the alien queen. And if possible, I really want to help Jia K-Box get revenge. Sundong said seriously. Everyone agreed and followed the lone wolf closely, running towards the cave on the uphill slope. The passage was very long. After running for more than half an hour, they finally saw a little light in front. Because everyone had been in a dark environment for a long time, they suddenly felt a little uncomfortable facing the light. Be careful, Lin Bin warned. Everyone understood what he meant. The aliens had a high level of intelligence. If they really wanted to attack, they would definitely not miss such a good opportunity at the cave entrance. At that moment, everyone carefully left the cave. Outside, there was a snowy plain. Flying snow could be seen everywhere, like a pure white world. The imagined attack did not come. Even the expected large army of aliens was not seen. It was empty, not even a single alien shadow was seen. Strange, they didn't attack us. Lei Jun murmured. No way, there are still a few of us alive here, and they left a large number of aliens behind. There is no reason for them not to be outside. Chapter 71 Difficulty Soars. They are not around, and even the human bodies are gone. Several people searched the whaling station for a while, but they didn't find anything. Lone Wolf said, when we came here, there were many human bodies that had been parasitized and exploded, but now, these human bodies have disappeared. Chang Feng and others looked at Lin Bin. Obviously, if Lin Bin hadn't cleverly added 5 temporary teammates for them, they would have lost at least 1 or 2 people in the battle. During the process, Lin Bin's performance was always on the IQ line. If everyone listened to him before, because he was promoted to the secret realm this time, now, they are truly convinced of him. Lei Jun asked, what should we do next? Lin Bin looked at Lone Wolf and asked, we are out, and you haven't been destroyed by the aliens yet. You should have a way to deal with the alien parasites, right? Lone Wolf said, yes, plasma light cutting, which can kill the alien embryos in the body directly through surgery, and then remove them from the body. What equipment do you need? You need to board the main ship first, but I don't know if there is enough time. Lone Wolf looked at the extremely spectacular and majestic spaceship in the distance. Lin Bin said, then let's go. Everyone realized that Lone Wolf and another Iron Blood warrior were still at risk of exploding and dying at any time. Their mission time was 3 full days, and only half a day had passed so far, so there was still plenty of time. At that moment, the 8 people hurried to the giant ship parked thousands of meters ahead. There was still no trace of aliens along the way. It seemed that the alien queen had escaped from here and ran towards the human world. The few people were very fast. Soon they ran to the bottom of the spaceship. Lone Wolf opened the closed hatch of the spaceship by scanning. Let's go. Lone Wolf took the lead and quickly boarded the ladder with Lin Bin and others. They walked quickly inside. Everyone followed closely. The technology level of the Iron Blood civilization is much more advanced than that of Yuanxing, and the equipment inside is also very advanced. Lin Bin and others couldn't understand it, but Zhu Can, as a technology enhancer, was obviously very interested in this advanced technology and kept making a sound. Coupled with her cute and adorable appearance, even Lone Wolf and others couldn't help but feel a little relaxed in this fierce killing. Linbin smiled slightly and was about to speak. Suddenly, he felt a chill in his heart and couldn't help but pause. What's wrong? It's okay, I was just shocked by the advanced technology here. Take us to the main ship room, Linbin said. Lone Wolf didn't say anything else, but took them directly to the direction of the main ship room. He didn't say anything else, but his pace was a little faster. The outer part of the spaceship was extremely large, and the interior space was also quite vast. It took more than 20 minutes for everyone to reach the destination. The main ship's cockpit. The length and width were several dozen meters. There were extremely complicated and dense operating tables all around, and a large space in the middle was left empty. There was only a command desk and a round table, which seemed to be used for meetings of the elders of the Iron Warriors. As the cabin door closed, Linbin took a deep breath and said, "You should have discovered before that I have a very obvious sense of murderous aura. At the moment we just entered the ship room, I suddenly felt that I was locked by at least 5 or 6 sights. That kind of deep and disgusting chill ordinary aliens can't give me this feeling. Only the Iron Warriors. Are they hiding in this ship room too?" Lone Wolf turned around quickly after hearing this and turned on the monitor. He quickly operated it, and another Iron Warrior also went to assist. Soon, the defense system that had been maintaining infrared scanning before was switched to the most old-fashioned monitoring system. Linbin and others surrounded it. They got close to the surveillance camera and carefully checked it. The screen switched, and switched again. Nothing unusual could be seen until the screen was switched to a closed ship room. The scene inside shocked everyone. The 5 or 6 meter tall alien queen was hiding in the ship of the Iron Warrior. It should have escaped, but it was tied up more tightly at this time. Almost the entire body was tied together, with only the huge swollen abdomen exposed. Everyone watched it lay one alien egg after another like a hen laying eggs. In the huge ship room, facehuggers could be seen everywhere, climbing around like rats. And the ground was cluttered with eggs, and there was sticky mucus everywhere, giving people the feeling that it was a devil's nest cave. Compared to here, the place where the aliens were imprisoned before was as clean as a sterile space. Suddenly, a long black tail swam through the surveillance camera. Iron-blooded aliens. Lei Jun couldn't help but scream out. His face had turned ugly. The most terrifying thing about the aliens is their parasitic ability, and the strategy has clearly stated that the facehugger will pounce on the enemy's face at a very fast speed, then tightly wrap around the neck, send eggs into the enemy's abdomen, and parasitize inside the enemy's body. It was to prevent this trick that he wore a ridiculous round helmet. Unexpectedly, there were so many facehuggers here, and there were also a large number of iron-blooded aliens. In just a short while, they had already seen the existence of 6 or 7 iron-blooded aliens. No wonder Linbin was calm just now. If they really encountered these iron-blooded aliens, the 8 of them would not be able to escape the end of being wiped out. You know, the previous iron-blooded alien caused them a lot of trouble. Sundong said sluggishly, "Isn't this too difficult? There are only 2 C's. Even if it's B, I don't want to come." He originally thought that the opponent was just an alien queen. Unexpectedly, there were more than a dozen iron-blooded aliens. Each of these iron-blooded aliens is probably strong enough to challenge the strongest extraordinary reincarnationist. Recalling the cries of the leak box before his death, could it be that he could not escape being bitten? Ahem. Sundong turned his head and looked at Linbin with a bit of resentment in his eyes and asked, "I heard that the first time you entered the ordinary, you turned into a killing, and the second time you were directly involved in the adventure. This is the 3rd experience, right?" With outsiders present, he didn't say it so bluntly. Although it was incoherent, Linbin still understood what he meant. He nodded helplessly. "Abin, you are very good, really. I have never seen a better teammate than you, but I promise that I will never cooperate with you again for the second time." Sundong said in a crying voice. "Once or twice can be said to be a coincidence. This 3rd time. Abin, I'm going to be played to death by you." Lei Jun also looked sympathetic, but he still tried to plead for him, saying, "This can't be blamed entirely on Abin. At least, it can't be all his responsibility, right?" Linbin glanced at Sundang and said, "Sorry, I'm not interested in shemales, and I don't want to play with you." Sundang said aggrievedly, "You have already hurt me, and now you come to trample on my dignity. And it doesn't seem difficult to kill the alien queen, or rather, it's not as difficult as we thought." Linbin said, "Didn't you notice the current state of the alien queen?" Lei Jun said, yes, although it escaped from the pyramid, it is still in a state of imprisonment, so our task is not that difficult." Lone Wolf said, "This is not in line with the rules of the aliens. The alien queen is the most supreme existence among the aliens. No alien can resist its orders. Even as long as the alien queen gives an order, all aliens will never disobey, even if faced with an order to commit suicide. But the iron-blooded aliens are obviously not among them. In other words, since they have inherited the powerful genes of the iron-blooded warriors, the combat power of the iron-blooded aliens may not be much inferior to that of the alien queen. They are unwilling to obey the orders of the alien queen and even rebel against her. So it makes sense that the alien queen is imprisoned." Linbin shook his head and said, "The iron-blooded aliens have very high IQs. Chapter 72, Remarks on the Release. Abin. No, Luohua's new book didn't do well. But it's time to put it on the shelves. The VIP chapter will be officially opened at 12 o'clock noon on Friday, which is tomorrow noon. After it's put on the shelves, it will be changed to a 4,000 word chapter, so that readers will enjoy it, and I don't have to worry about chapter breaks when writing, and it's more exciting. I can't follow up, and I can't be on Sanjiang. The performance is definitely much worse than that on Sanjiang. But I still hope that everyone will support the genuine version, at least help me contribute a first order. Even if you can be a full-time soldier, it's okay. Oh. In addition, I will set a setting of 1 fan value for speaking at that time. There is no way. In fact, many people have criticized me in the book review area during this period. Of course, I can accept real criticism. When a person writes a book, there will definitely be many incoherent bugs. I can't find them in the dark, and I'm very grateful for others pointing them out. If I can change it, I will change it. If I can't change it, I will apologize honestly. After all, it was a setting that was not well thought out. You can click on their page and find that the account registration time is 13 years for ordinary members. He is really. I'm crying. Chapter 73, Alien Parasite. First Order. Lone Wolf said, "Did you see anything?" "Just some speculations." Linbin said, "Why don't you two go and quickly open the abdomen and take out the alien embryo? Otherwise, if the iron-blooded alien explodes in your body, don't worry." Lone Wolf said, "If we perform the operation, we will lose our combat capability, and we will surely die when we encounter these iron-blooded aliens. In this case, we might as well get rid of them first, and then open the abdomen. What if there is not enough time? All iron-blooded warriors will die." Linbin. He coughed a few times and said, "I will make a bold guess. Once the iron-blooded warriors fail in the trial, they will use high-tech weapons to directly destroy all life on this planet, right? If the trial fails, we will first send out elites to clean up the mess. After all, it is not easy to build a trial field, and with the strength of the elders, it is not difficult to clean up the mess." Lone Wolf replied, "But when the elites are unable to clean up the mess, they will send back a message to apply for a planetary cleanup and destroy all living things, including the aliens." Linbin concluded, "So this means that, even if the alien queen really escapes, even if she parasitizes all the creatures in this world and turns them into all kinds of strange aliens, but its final outcome is already doomed, which is destruction." Lone Wolf shook his head and said, "The aliens' combat power is enough to compete with our Iron Clan, but they are just the most primitive racial tribe, and cannot compete with our technology. It's just that, when we need to use our technology to kill the aliens, it proves that we have actually lost. Even if we wipe out all the aliens, we still lose." Maybe the Iron Clan also knows this, knowing that no matter how hard they struggle on this planet, they can't escape the fate of death. They are unwilling to accept this, so they fled to the battleship. Linbin said, "Let's make an assumption. If we hadn't joined, you would definitely wake up before the Iron Clan burst out of their chests after being parasitized. After all, it only takes about an hour for a human to break out of their body, but if an iron clan is parasitized, it will take at least 10 hours. You will definitely wake up before that. After hearing Lin Bin's hypothesis, even the previously silent Iron Warrior turned his attention to Lin Bin. After you escape to the main ship and apply to destroy this planet, you will definitely flee this planet as soon as possible, and then in order to remove the alien embryos in your body, you must choose surgery. Lone Wolf said in a deep voice, maybe after the surgery, you will need to rest to restore your body energy, and because we are in a hurry to have the surgery, we may not have time to check the spaceship. By then, the remaining Iron Warriors will fall into hibernation, and the spaceship will be the world of Iron Aliens. Moreover, these Iron Aliens have tied up the Alien Queen, and are constantly laying eggs. This spaceship will carry a full ship of alien eggs, and fly back to our clan. Oh my god. What kind of magical plan is this? Lei Jun said in surprise. I can't think of such a comprehensive plan. That group of aliens actually. Lin Bin said seriously, the intelligence of the aliens is not as low as we thought. In fact, their learning ability is not worse than that of us humans. It's just that their desire to reproduce is above all else, so they look no different from wild beasts. But if you really treat them as wild beasts, you may die miserably. Moreover, this plan is not that complicated. It's just because it was thought up by the aliens that you are shocked. I understand. I won't underestimate them. Lei Jun said disappointedly. They may be smarter than me. What qualifications do I have to underestimate them? Indeed, if it was the aliens who came up with this plan, it is unlikely, but if it was the iron-blooded aliens, it is indeed very likely. Lone Wolf said, if you hadn't saved us, and then expressed your intention to kill the alien queen, we might have really come back for surgery as soon as possible, and the iron-blooded aliens absorbed the genes of the aliens, so they had the authority to enter the chamber. Your speculation has no actual support, but it does make sense, and is very likely. Lin Bin thought to himself, isn't that what engineers do? They greeted the return of their spaceship, but in the end they welcomed a full ship of black water. The iron-blooded alien is best at hiding. It always develops silently. In the plot, Lone Wolf chased the iron-blooded alien for a whole episode, and it ran away for a whole episode, until the Lone Wolf's weapons were almost wasted, and it was blocked in its lair, and had no choice but to come out to fight him. It is rare to see a boss that is so timid, even though it has all the advantages. Does this have anything to do with us killing the alien queen? There is a disagreement between them. It should be that the alien queen is unwilling to go to the iron-blooded planet with them. For the alien queen, reproduction may be the most important thing, but it is definitely not a match for so many iron-blooded aliens, and it was tied up there. That is to say, the most powerful enemy has been tied up for us. As long as we go over and hand over a knife, maybe the mission will be completed. Lin Bin didn't say a word. This should be the reason why the mission reward is only to seize. The strongest alien queen has no power to fight back. Zukan said disappointedly, but there are still a dozen of the second strongest ones guarding it. Together, they are stronger than the alien queen. Wait, don't you have powerful weapons on your spaceship? No matter how powerful the iron-blood alien is, it is just flesh and blood. As long as we can get powerful weapons, we can kill them. Yes. Lone Wolf pointed to the position where the aliens were entrenched in front of the screen and said, do you see the door behind the alien queen? As long as you open that door, there are many weapons inside, such as the shoulder cannon, which is the largest single weapon in our Iron Blood clan. As long as you equip this weapon, even if the Iron Blood alien is hit, it will die. In fact, the 3 newcomers who participated in the coming of age ceremony are all excellent warriors. If the shoulder cannon had not been taken away, they would not have failed. Zukan's excited expression suddenly became lonely. Lin Bin's mind turned rapidly. The iron-blood alien is indeed very smart. They built a nest in the weapons depot, obviously to prevent the iron-blood warriors from getting weapons. In this way, even if Lone Wolf and his men found their traces, they would not be opponents at all. So how to kill these aliens? Especially the alien queen. You can't win by fighting head-on. Fly to the Iron-Blood clan. The mission only requires killing the aliens, not killing them on Earth. It seems that a trip to an alien planet is fine, but 3 days is definitely not enough to fly back to the Iron Blood clan, right? Or make a feint to the east and attack the west, to attract the Iron Blood aliens away. But in this way, the person responsible for attracting the Iron Blood aliens will almost certainly die. Let the two of them do it. Lin Bin looked at the two Iron Blood warriors and shook his head. No, the Iron Blood warriors have no weapons, and their combat power is reduced by half, and they can't hold them back for too long. And it is impossible for the two Iron Blood warriors to attract all the Iron Blood aliens. As long as one or two are left, it will be a big trouble for them. Killing the alien queen requires avoiding these Iron Blood aliens. And if you want to eliminate these Iron Blood aliens, you must have weapons. But no matter which one, it seems that they can't avoid the arsenal behind them. Lin Bin thought for a long time, and suddenly an idea flashed through his mind like lightning. He turned around and said, I have an idea. Everyone's eyes fell on Lin Bin at the same time. He really has a solution? Lin Bin said, have you noticed that the aliens' targets of attack have always been the 5 of us? Including the iron-blooded alien that we killed. It has always been staring at us. Even when it saw its own kind being slaughtered, its killing target was still the 5 of us. It never took the initiative to attack the iron-blooded warriors. As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned for a while, and then they reacted at the same time. Thinking back, the iron-blooded alien attacked 3 times in total. The first time was Lin Bin, and the second time was Zukankan. The third time was Sundang, who was saved by Lone Wolf. Then the iron-blooded alien and Lone Wolf were both injured, and finally died under Zukankan's heavy firepower. But in a sense, it really didn't attack the 5 iron-blooded warriors. Oh, there are only 2 left now. But they really didn't take the initiative to attack them. The same is true for the aliens. Unless the Iron Blood warriors take the initiative, they will counterattack, but it is only a counterattack. In fact, there were many dangers along the way. The reason why there was no real loss of personnel was that these reincarnation warriors regarded themselves as human shields, which was also an extremely important factor in making the aliens feel constrained. Zukankan was surprised and said, does this world also have a great cosmic consciousness? So they reject outsiders like them? On the contrary, Lone Wolf was not surprised and explained, it is the alien embryos in our bodies that protect us. We are considered to be the same kind by those aliens. Yes, aliens are a population, and the same race rarely kill each other. After being parasitized, even if the alien has not broken out of the body, the alien has already begun to judge you as its own kind. Lin Bin thought of the movies he had watched and said, in fact, it is rare for aliens to take the initiative to kill people. Generally, they drag them back and use embryos to parasitize them and transform them into their own kind. So what you mean is, everyone was a little confused, watching Lone Wolf and Lin Bin singing the same tune. Some were confused. It's so strange, didn't we enter the secret realm at the same time? Could it be that we have been living a life of idleness and waiting to die? Otherwise, why do you know all this news? But I don't know anything about it. When they heard the last part, all of them brightened up and understood what Lin Bin meant. Lone Wolf stood up and said, I'll kill the alien queen. You can't. Why? Because you look too fierce and powerful. Although they won't attack you first, when you get close to them, they will attack you without hesitation to protect themselves. It can be seen that they really regard you as their own kind, but when they sense danger, they will not be polite to you. In this state, it doesn't matter whether you are parasitized or not. Our goal is to get weapons. As long as we can get weapons, we will have the ability to destroy the iron-blooded alien. Lin Bin spoke more and more fluently. Before he spoke, this idea was just a vague idea, but as he spoke it out bit by bit, it seemed as if he had finally found the end of the thread and slowly made it clear. He said, according to my guess, only people who pose no threat to the iron-blooded alien can get close. We just need to find someone for the alien to actively parasitize and take out the weapon before the alien breaks out of its chest, and then rush back to undergo surgery to remove the embryo, and then our mission will be accomplished. As soon as the words fell, everyone looked at Zukankan instinctively. Zukankan said in surprise, are you going to let that facehugger smear my face? I'm so young. Aren't you afraid of starting in 3 years? Lei Jun muttered, who said before that he was in his 20s this year. That won't work either. Abin also said that once the iron-blooded alien determines that I'm dangerous, they will kill me. I will definitely be safe before I get the weapon, but once I show any signs of wanting to get the weapon, they will immediately tear me apart. I'll go. Lin Bin said on his own initiative. What? Everyone looked at Lin Bin at the same time. Chang Feng couldn't help but sigh in his heart. As expected, when people are forced into a desperate situation, they have many ideas. They can actually think of such a method. However, he can take the initiative to implement it. This person is a very good person. Little did he know that Lin Bin also had his own plan at this time. Letting the alien parasite sounds terrible, but just like the Iron Blood Warrior can suppress the alien embryo for several hours without any problem. He has the immortality in his body, so it is basically no problem to hold on for a little longer than normal people. Although the area of the spacecraft is not small, it is not too big. Half an hour is enough for a round trip. From this point of view, there is no danger. And more importantly, there is a bottle of sacred blessing potion in his belt. If there is any accident, he can take it before he dies. Even if the alien really breaks out of his chest, he can be resurrected. There is both insurance and backup insurance. It seems that he is taking the most dangerous path, but in a sense, his path may be the safest one. You know, the biggest crisis is the Iron Blood alien. It must be mentioned that the existence of the sacred potion gave Lin Bin the greatest confidence. This was his capital, and he took it out to bet. If he won, he would get double the reward. If he lost, he would just consider it as no reward this time. Lin Bin said, but I may need your help. I need an alien embryo, and I will find a way to lure the iron-blooded aliens away. When the time comes, you have to help me delay their return, so that I can kill the alien queen and bring the weapons back as soon as possible. We have alien embryos. An iron-blooded warrior behind the lone wolf stood up and said, I can feel that the alien in my body is still absorbing nutrients from my body, but there is no sign of hatching. You dig it out. This alien egg is different from ordinary alien eggs. It is an iron-blooded alien egg. Maybe it will make these iron-blooded aliens less likely to hurt you. And you also need my arm, he said, otherwise you can't open that door. After the iron-blooded warrior said this, he raised the scimitar in his hand, and with a puff, he had already thrust it into his chest fiercely. Screaming in pain, he pulled out an embryo about the size of a fist from his body, tearing the tendons and blood vessels to pieces. He knelt on the ground helplessly, handed the embryo to Lin Bin, and said, cut off my arm later, and use my fingers to get back the weapon. The 5 reincarnations were stunned at the same time. Even Lin Bin didn't expect that these iron-blooded warriors were cruel to their enemies and to him. I understand. Don't worry. I will kill the alien queen and avenge you. Lin Bin had an embryo. He slowly took off the Black Panther mask on his head and smiled bitterly. I spent 400 reincarnation points, but I still can't avoid being parasitized. Fortunately, I was not attacked by a facehugger, otherwise I will never get rid of this shadow in my life. Looking at the huge embryo in his hand, inside, you can see a long and narrow creature constantly moving under the membrane. Maybe because it absorbed the iron-blooded warrior's genes, this creature was faintly black. He raised his head and took the initiative to swallow the embryo. Abin, why don't I go? Lei Jun worriedly shouted, you are a newcomer, how can I let you take this risk? It's okay, brother Lei, you look more fierce than the Iron Blood warrior. I'm afraid you can't fool those Iron Blood aliens. While speaking, Lin Bin had already swallowed the embryo. He turned around and asked, for safety reasons, I want to ask, how long will the operation take? Lone Wolf said, half an hour will do. Does that mean I have to rush back half an hour before the alien breaks out of the body? Time is a bit tight. Lin Bin suddenly whimpered softly and could feel a foreign object blocking his chest. The immortal key in his body began to surge out crazily. The embryo will actively absorb nutrients from the host's body to supply itself. Obviously, the immortal key is very pleasing to it. Fortunately, the immortal key has unparalleled recovery. Lin Bin just felt uncomfortable for a while and then slowly recovered. He put the Desert Eagle Shura into his waist bag and then slowly gathered the immortal key. supplying embryos in a steady stream. Ordinary people cannot control their own bodies, but with the Cheng Sheng key, this operation is child's play for Lin Bin. I'm leaving. Remember, don't die, okay? Lin Bin looked back and said seriously. Su Kan's eyes were already blurred with tears. She said, you still care about us at this time, Abin. Listen to me, and say thank you. No wonder she was so moved. After all, listening to Lin Bin's description, she was indeed the most suitable one. Lin Bin was clearly taking on the most dangerous job for her. Chapter 74, Sleep or Something, Wake Up. Additional chapter, please subscribe first. Put away all the weapons. As the immortal key was restrained, Lin Bin suddenly changed from a handsome man to a thin, sickly and weak handsome man. Especially the parasitic alien embryo made him look sick, like a vampire who had not seen the sun for many years. Lin Bin did not delay, but started to set off directly. He wore the in-ear communication ear sockets given to him by Lone Wolf. Along the way, Lone Wolf has been guiding him on the road. Soon, he came to the farthest place from the armory, walked through the narrow passage, and at the end was a freezer. Put Lone Wolf's helmet in it. Then he turned back. Performing King Kong with all his strength, he listened to Lone Wolf's voice saying, left, right, turn left 100 meters ahead. There is a laser door there. Remember to be careful not to step on the sensor under your feet. Left, right, right. Soon, Lin Bin came to a passage only 300 meters away from the iron-blooded alien. He did not move forward, but nodded and said, okay. Lone Wolf followed his words, and turned on the sound of the helmet remotely. The next moment, a sharp and piercing howl sounded from the place where Lin Bin placed the helmet, with boundless ferocity and pain. It was like the wailing and unwilling roar of a peerless beast before its death. This was the painful scream of the iron-blooded alien when it was killed. When he was in the pyramid, Lone Wolf himself wanted to use the unity of the iron-blooded alien to lure them into the trap with this roar, but the iron-blooded alien didn't pay any attention to him at all, so he recorded it for nothing at that time. Unexpectedly, it came in handy here. As the attached loudspeaker expanded, the sharp and painful screams instantly resounded throughout the spacecraft. Through the monitor, you can see that the iron-blooded aliens who were wandering around and making gurgling sounds in their throats suddenly tightened their bodies and let out angry howls. Turning his head, he looked in the direction of the source of the painful howling. More than 10 iron-blooded aliens came out one after another, emitting extremely sharp whistles, and rushed towards the direction where their kind were being slaughtered. Boom, boom, boom. The heavy spaceship could hear the sound that seemed to shake the walls violently. The iron-blooded aliens were too huge. Although they were not as big as the alien queen, they were much bigger than ordinary aliens. With their astonishing weight, they made a terrifying sound when they ran. Abin, be careful, they are already heading in your direction. Lei Chun and others looked pale. Through the monitor, they could clearly see that on one side was Lin Bin, who was alone, and on the other side, there were groups of iron-blooded aliens, like a galloping horse. There was a sharp contrast between the two, and the direction where Lin Bin stood happened to block their way. This was also a level that had to be passed. Either go in directly to face all the iron-blooded aliens, or meet them head-on in this passage. This narrow environment is also an experiment. If parasitism is useless and Lin Bin is attacked by these iron-blooded aliens, the aliens cannot form an encirclement here, and he still has a chance to escape. Meet in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here it comes. The calm voice of the Lone Wolf rang clearly in Lin Bin's ears. The next moment is to decide his life or death. But Lin Bin was unexpectedly not as excited and hurried as he imagined, but slowly calmed down. He slowly clenched the sacred blessing potion in his hand. Looking at the mighty iron-blooded alien team rushing in, the 3-meter wide aisle was crowded with them. Especially when they were running, they let out bursts of sharp and heart-wrenching howls from their mouths. This is the sound from the top of the food chain of the hunting species, which is enough to scare anyone. But Lin Bin just stayed close to the wall. With the whistling sound of the wind, the first iron-blooded alien had already flown past him, its tail even brushing his waist. If Lin Bin had been a little more impulsive, he would have dodged. Success. Zu Kan's surprised cry rang in his ear. Lin Bin stood still, watching the iron-blooded warriors flying by one after another. In just a few seconds, their figures had disappeared at the corner of his sight. He said, "Next, it will be hard for you. You have already taken on the most dangerous task. If we continue to be sneaky, it will be useless." Chang Feng nodded and said, "You, go and come back quickly." Lone Wolf said, "There are still 2 iron-blooded aliens left in the room. What else can you do? We can only adapt to the situation." Lin Bin thought to himself that, if he killed one of the 2 iron-blooded aliens in advance, the chances of winning the remaining one would still be high. He put away the sacred blessing potion in his palm and slowly walked inside. At this time, in front of the huge arsenal, the door was wide open. Standing outside, one could see the alien eggs that were almost impossible to place inside, and the angry roar of the alien queen. It was obviously furious that it was used as a tool for reproduction by its subordinates, but the shackles on its body were used by the Iron Warriors to restrain it. Without help, it was unlikely that it would be able to break free. As Lin Bin stepped into the room, his heart sank. Which were 2? There were clearly 3 iron-blooded aliens. One of them was squatting in the corner, hiding in the blind spot of the surveillance camera, and even the lone wolf could not see it. 3. Lin Bin's face turned a little ugly. 3 iron-blooded aliens. Even if the lone wolf came fully armed, he would probably die. At this time, the 3 iron-blooded aliens also began to become crazy and agitated. They also heard the painful howling, which was the pain of their own kind being slaughtered. But they were extremely sure that all the iron-blooded aliens had gathered here. In addition to the compatriots who stayed in the pyramid and the embryos in the bodies of the 5 iron-blooded warriors that were parasitized. Regardless of which one, the one who made this sound must be their compatriot. Although the rationality of the iron-blooded warriors forced them to stay here to prevent the alien queen from escaping. But the aliens' natural desire to kill made them restless. And in this situation, they also found Lin Bin's trace. The 3 iron-blooded aliens looked at Lin Bin warily and did not attack immediately. One of them took the initiative to come over and sniffed Lin Bin gently. At this time, the 2 faces were almost less than 10 centimeters away. Lin Bin did not move, allowing the other party to smell his breath, perhaps because he smelled that familiar feeling. It was not an ordinary alien, but a true iron-blooded alien. It turned its head away, as if nothing had happened. It was just a weak chicken, so there was no need to worry about him. Soon a new compatriot would be born in his body. At that time, they would have a greater chance of invading the iron-blooded clan. Lin Bin looked up at the alien queen hanging high above his head, knowing that with the current opportunity, he could kill her with one blow and then escape. With the 3 iron-blooded aliens, he might have a chance to escape, or even return directly. No, I don't know if the technology in the world can safely remove the iron-blooded alien embryo. This risk cannot be taken. Then he can only. Lin Bin slowly walked to the iron-blooded alien that turned its head and took the initiative to block its way. The iron-blooded alien hissed in dissatisfaction and turned its head to change direction. Lin Bin continued to block the way. It finally stopped, and its eyes, which should have been full of chaos, were filled with human dissatisfaction. Lin Bin slowly raised his hand and touched its head. Although it was dissatisfied, it did not dodge much, perhaps because of the iron-blooded alien in Lin Bin's body. The other 2 did not have any other unusual reactions. The opportunity has come. The God's Descent technique, which was extended from the 4-eyed Taoist summoning god technique, was instantly activated. The surging longevity key gathered in the palm, and the external force was mixed with the internal force. A trace of irritation flashed in the eyes of the iron-blooded alien, as if it had noticed something, and was about to move away. But Lin Bin suddenly pressed down hard with a palm. With a puff, 7 strands of longevity key with different properties entered the body and directly hit its brain. At the same time, Lin Bin took out the Desert Eagle Shura with his other hand, aimed at one of the larger iron-blooded aliens, and attacked without hesitation. Roar. On the warship, the iron-blooded aliens were extremely fast. Lin Bin walked for more than 30 minutes, but for them, it only took a few minutes to get to the place. But they did not see the miserable scene of their own kind being killed as imagined. Instead, there was only a mask with thousands of holes making a painful roar. The empty gaps in the eyes seemed to laugh at these beasts who wanted to learn from humans to play tricks, and now they met professionals. The iron-blooded aliens were immediately furious. How could they not understand that they were being played? And the enemy certainly could not just be playing with them. Although they did not understand what it meant to lure the tiger away from the mountain, they had already guessed that the enemy must have taken the opportunity to attack their base camp. They ran back angrily, but just after running a few steps, they found that a heavy machine gun had been set up on the road they came from. Ha 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 ha, since you are here, don't leave. Zukankan, who had twin ponytails, showed a twisted and bloodthirsty smile on her face, and said with a smile, "Crush it into slag for me." As she spoke, the flames spewed. Countless bullets filled the entire passage like a raging wave. Many iron-blooded aliens hurriedly shouted to avoid. Can, save bullets. Chang Feng shouted, "Our mission is to delay time, not to kill all these aliens. Your bullets are the most important." Understood. Zukankan responded, and the frequency of the burst really slowed down. Just when the frequency was weakened, he found that there was a black alien climbing towards this side quickly above his head. "Ah, you blind beast, can't you let me save some bullets?" Zukankan started to shoot again, hitting the iron-blooded alien, and thick blood splashed. Wherever it touched, it would corrode a very hideous living thing. But this level of bullets obviously cannot be fatal to the iron-blooded alien. It can only stop its steps. She shouted, "I can only support this shooting method for 3 minutes. I'll help you." Sundong raised his palms flat, with the thumbs of his left and right hands and the other 4 fingers facing each other. From the gap in the palm, a shaped air wave gushed out, like a wave, rushing back the iron-blooded alien that was about to rush to the front with ammunition. "Brother Lei, Mr. Lone Wolf, let's get ready too. If they really force us to come, we may need to force them out." Lone Wolf nodded and said, "Understood." Lei Jun also nodded seriously. The muscles that had been deflated slowly expanded again, and the murderous aura began to spread. Their mission is to help Lin Bin delay time, so that he has more time to deal with the iron-blooded alien. Kill the enemy? They dared not think. 7 people with bare hands against more than a dozen iron-blooded aliens. That is, Zukankan's heavy weapons are amazingly powerful and can be used as an auxiliary. Otherwise, they feel that even escaping may be a problem. But Lin Bin's side is more dangerous. There is an alien embryo in his body, and he must kill the iron-blooded alien and the alien queen within a limited time. In comparison, they have already taken on the easiest task. Unfortunately, how could they know? Lin Bin's time is shorter than they imagined. If facing ordinary aliens, Lin Bin can easily suppress it with his longevity true key. But if facing the iron-blooded alien, especially with only one chance, he will go all out. 7 different true ki gathered in the heart of the fist, and a fist hit the alien's head fiercely. This was Lin Bin's sudden whim. The 7 injury fist is the 7 key forces of gold, wood, water, fire, earth, yin and yang entering the body, so that the enemy's body is destroyed by the 7 key forces at the same time. The immortal key in his body is also the 7 key of gold, wood, water, fire, earth, yin and yang. If you deliberately transform it, you can transform it into any attribute, but if you do nothing, these 7 key will come out at the same time, and then blast it out with the force of Teikai. National Martial Arts Teikai plus Immortal Key equals Copycat Teikai 7 injury fist. A punch was thrown. The iron-blooded alien fell to the ground immediately, unable to even twitch. Its appearance is still intact, but its brain has already been shattered into a mess. And another iron-blooded alien that is closer was also shot several times in succession, and blood splattered on its body. It seems that it can't understand why the sheep that looked harmless just now suddenly turned into a tiger. It is even more terrifying than a tiger. The intense pain did not scare it, but aroused its ferocity. Before it rushed over, the tail blade behind it had already stabbed towards Lin Bin like a sharp spear. The iron-blooded alien next to him obviously also sensed the threat of life and death, and double-teamed Lin Bin from another direction. Roar! A conflict suddenly broke out below. The alien queen also struggled frantically, as if she wanted to take the opportunity to escape. Seeing that the Desert Eagle Shura failed to kill the iron-blooded alien at close range, Lin Bin was secretly horrified. As expected, they inherited the genes of the iron-blooded warrior. Their skin and flesh were much thicker than those of elephants. At this time, he was still in the state of the god's descent. Lin Bin's senses were extremely sharp, and he could clearly feel the invisible ripples of the air being split when the opponent's sharp blade stabbed over. At this moment, under the state of the god's descent, his body was completely under control. He could even feel the vibration amplitude of his muscles caused by the recoils he fired. At this moment, Lin Bin suddenly understood what Feng Qingshan meant before. Is even the vibration frequency of the muscles under control? If so, then it is definitely hitting wherever you point. I didn't have this feeling before. It seems that with the improvement of the immortal true key, the god's descent has also been greatly improved. Lin Bin remained calm. Although he failed to kill 2 iron-blooded aliens at the same time, one was dead, one was injured, and one was intact. This increased his chances of winning. He turned around without hesitation and rushed into the embryo of the alien egg. Tianzan was like duckweed in the wind, stomping on every egg he passed by, shouting, "Sleep, sleep, wake up." Chapter 75. I've tolerated you all the way. How many alien eggs are there here? These iron-blooded aliens have been here for quite some time, and during this process, the alien queens have been constantly laying eggs. By now, there are probably hundreds of them. In some places, there are even eggs piled up like cargo. It's just that they can't sense the breath of living people, so all the alien eggs are sleeping, waiting to sense the breath of living things, and then release them all at once, to give everyone a surprise. But according to the iron-blooded aliens' calculations, this surprise should have erupted within the iron-blooded clan, and a large number of facehuggers suddenly poured out. Even the experienced iron-blooded warriors might not be able to react in time, and a large number of people would inevitably be hit. But now they can't wait, because a stick of stirring shit came and completely disrupted the quiet atmosphere here. The iron-blooded aliens obviously care about these eggs. When Lin Bin stepped into the egg array, they let out a series of angry roars. Their bodies are too large to step in at all, so they can only attack Lin Bin with their slender tail blades. The 2 iron tails were like steel whips, making sharp whizzing sounds in the air. Unfortunately, for Lin Bin, whose senses were at an unprecedented peak, it was too easy to dodge the steel whips. He fired a few shots from time to time, and did not delay loading himself with bullets. The two sides fell into a stalemate. There was also the alien queen who kept roaring beside them, sounding like she was cheering for the two. In a short moment, the situation changed again. The alien eggs that Lin Bin had touched slowly opened the petals on their heads. A large number of facehuggers crawled out of the alien eggs. Although they had no wings, these facehuggers were full of strength. A light jump was no different from flying. They were like large grasshoppers, jumping around everywhere, happy that there was finally food for them to enjoy. After the results came out, they only found that 3 of their kind were fighting among themselves, and they were completely the victims. Of course, with the low-level wisdom of the facehuggers, which only know how to parasitize instinctively, they cannot understand this complex situation. It is just confused. Where is my food? So, they jump and fly around, trying to find their own prey. The facehuggers are flying around randomly, and the attack of the iron-blooded alien is greatly restricted. They have a strong sense of tribe, and naturally cannot bear to hurt their compatriots easily. On the contrary, Lin Bin, as long as he is careful not to be stained by the corrosive mucus of other dead facehuggers, he can play freely. With the facehuggers as shields, he has already destroyed 3 magazines in the blink of an eye. It seems to have taken advantage, but in fact, Lin Bin knows his own business, and he is the one who is anxious. The God's Descent technique is derived from the God Summoning technique, but it is very different from the real God Summoning technique. Instead, it has a weakened version of the Heavenly Demon Disintegration technique. Once its duration ends, he will fall into weakness. Although he is not completely incapable of fighting, he is undoubtedly much weaker than now. This battle must be ended before the God's Descent ends. Obviously, as long as the fight continues, and the 2 iron-blooded aliens are constantly hurt by the Desert Eagle Shura, they will be exhausted sooner or later. But Lin Bin still took the initiative to attack. After dodging a crooked tail blade that stabbed at an angle, the Desert Eagle Shura no longer shot, but directly stabbed the top Shura blade into the flesh of the tail. With a low roar, he wrestled with the iron-blooded alien. Under the blessing of the god's descent, the iron-blooded alien was obviously at a disadvantage and was dragged into the embryo of the alien egg by Linbin, stumbling and crushing countless uncivilized alien eggs. It screamed angrily, and its two steel claws grabbed Linbin. Linbin dodged and flew back, avoiding the attack, while dragging the alien for more than 10 meters, and then he punched it in the chin with his backhand. The immortal true energy rushed into the enemy's body like a storm. That is to say, the speed of the eternal life secret to recover ki is too fast. Otherwise, it would leak out and leak in at the same time. I'm afraid that any martial arts master would not be able to hold on for too long. But Linbin was not affected at all. He punched out with one hand and raised the pistol with the iron tail of the iron-blooded alien with the other hand and aimed it at its head. With a violent sound, he sprayed all the bullets in the magazine directly. The true ki in his body kept destroying the tendons and bones of the alien, and the external bullets kept bombarding. The iron-blooded alien was bleeding profusely and slowly collapsed in the alien egg without any sound. You are the only one missing. Linbin looked at the iron-blooded alien who was safe and sound. He breathed a sigh of relief and was about to take a step, but his feet suddenly softened. The state of mind and understanding just now dissipated as quickly as flowing water, and a feeling of extreme fatigue from running 30,000 meters just now came to his mind. Damn. Just after releasing a large amount of true ki, the divine descent technique ended early. Linbin realized that, although he had already calculated the duration of the god's descent in the real world, he had unconsciously neglected the absorption of the immortality ki by the alien embryo in his body during the fierce battle. The buff was reduced. Although the iron-blooded alien in the outside world did not know what happened, its hunting instinct clearly sensed that the terrible enemy in front of it had fallen into a weak state. It no longer cared about the embryo under its feet and strode towards Linbin. Damn. The alien really hurt people. Linbin rolled sideways to avoid the impact of the iron-blooded alien. With the cover of these alien eggs, he played a game of eagle catching chickens with it in this wide but narrow place. However, although the iron-blooded alien was large in size, it did not affect its movements at all. It was extremely fast and agile like a fighting cock. Almost every attack was aimed at Linbin's vital points. After a while, Linbin was forced into a corner. At this time, the ki in his body was still being continuously absorbed, and his ki recovery was greatly affected. He was about to be killed by the iron-blooded alien. Linbin gritted his teeth and held the holy blessing potion in his hand. At this point, he could only die once and then use the resurrection armor to sneak attack and kill this iron-blooded alien. Although the resurrection potion was very expensive, Linbin really couldn't afford the cost of failure in this mission. Just as he was about to open his mouth, his body, which had always been empty, suddenly had an extremely turbulent longevity ki. Its strength was even stronger than when he just performed the god's descent technique. And the source of this ki was the alien embryo that was attached to his body at this time. Feeding back, Linbin suddenly realized that the alien was a creature with a strong desire to survive. If they sensed that the human body was in danger when they were parasitic in the human body, they would try their best to ensure the safety of the host, so as to ensure their own smooth birth. Being parasitized by the alien embryo, his life has been predetermined by the alien embryo. When he is in danger, the alien embryo will protect him at all costs. But now, it obviously anticipated that he was in danger and spit out the true ki it had absorbed before to increase Linbin's chance of escape, and even stopped actively absorbing the true ki in Linbin's body. In this way, the speed of the eternal life secret to recover ki instantly took effect, and with the true ki it fed back as a guide, it flourished again. Seeing the tail blade stabbing at his head, Linbin tilted his head, and the tail blade that could have directly opened a hole for him stabbed fiercely into the alloy wall behind him. Linbin, who was just out of breath and weak, rushed up like a nimble cheetah and threw himself into the arms of the iron-blooded alien. The iron-blooded alien opened its mouth to bite, but its head was too long, so it was inconvenient to lower its head. But Linbin did not hesitate to attack. Knees, elbows, fists, palms. The sound of bombardment was endless. Since obtaining the theoretical blessing of Teikai sword, Linbin's national martial arts Teikai has reached a very advanced level. Without using the true energy, he can even fight with one go over for hundreds of moves without losing. Now that the iron-blooded alien was approached, he had been hit by dozens of fierce moves in the blink of an eye, and each move contained 7 different attributes of true energy. A moment later, the huge body fell to the ground with a bang. Only Lin Bin's figure was left. After a series of attacks, the iron-blooded alien couldn't even spit out a bit of blood, and his internal organs were directly shattered. The spitted out true energy began to flow again. Obviously, after realizing that Lin Bin was out of danger, the alien embryo began to absorb the true energy in his body again. Go away, I'm not out of danger yet. Lin Bin directly forcibly restrained the flow of true energy in his body. But considering that it had just saved his life, he still left it a little bit, and then he unexpectedly felt a sense of dissatisfaction coming from his heart. This alien embryo first acquired the genes of the Iron Warrior, and now it has absorbed Lin Bin's immortality. It seems to be able to let the host feel its emotions. You saved my life, but my crisis is also brought to me by you. If you absorb less, I won't be so weak, Lin Bin said, and jumped on the head of the alien queen. The iron chain shook, and the alien queen roared angrily, angry that a small alien dared to stand on his head. Goodbye. Lin Bin slapped it on the head with his backhand. Just now, he fought with 3 iron-blooded aliens. In the life and death battle, he became more proficient in the use of Takai 7 Injury Fist, and it was more powerful at this time. Although the alien queen has strong vitality, under this palm, the head suddenly fell down weakly. At the same time, the situation of the few people who were desperately resisting the footsteps of the iron-blooded aliens in the narrow corridor had already been extremely tense. Even Zhu Can had given up those big guys. There was no way. Too much ammunition was consumed. At this time, she could only touch a small pistol for self-defense and shoot one shot at a time, showing her last stubbornness in changing from the main output to the auxiliary. Lone Wolf was at the forefront. Lei Chun was second. He couldn't get stained with the blood of the aliens, and the aliens seemed to know the power of his blood, so even if it was just a slight injury, the blood sprayed out like spitting saliva, making him restricted everywhere. Chang Feng was still able to leave his body with true energy, kicking out one knife after another to kill these aliens in the air. Lei Chun could only repel the enemy, and he didn't even dare to use too much force. He dared to swear on his eldest brother's personality that he was not so gentle to his wife. At this time, Sun Dong's face was also already pale. The superpowers were not without damage, and releasing too much was also a great burden on his body. The reason why everyone could resist the aliens until now was entirely due to the terrain and the fact that Lone Wolf took on most of the firepower for them, and he had extremely rich experience in dealing with aliens. But even so, it would only take 3 minutes at most. When either Sun Dong's physical strength or Zhu Can's ammunition runs out, the iron-blooded alien will break through the defense and tear them to pieces. They can't even escape. The two sides have long been in a deadlock of life and death. And at this moment, the system prompt sounded in everyone's ears at the same time. Secret Realm Mission, kill the alien queen, completion reward. 3000 reincarnation points, sea level merit x2. Mission time limit. 3 days. Mission failure penalty. 800 points. Mission completed. Do you want to return to settle accounts? Oh. Everyone's eyes lit up at the same time. Zhu Can shouted in surprise. Abin has successfully killed the alien queen. Hold on. He is about to come with weapons. As soon as these words came out, Sun Dong, who was originally surprised and planned to return immediately, was stunned for a moment, then gritted his teeth and said, "Forget it, I will hold on for another 3 minutes. I couldn't hold on for 3 minutes when I was a man. I don't believe I can't do it now that I'm a woman. RRRR. She screamed. With a bang, a wind cannon was fired, directly blowing all the aliens away. I'll come too. Chang Feng glanced at everyone, and his figure was at least twice as fast as before. With a few loud bangs, the few iron-blooded aliens in the front were kicked away fiercely. It was not even clear how the enemy attacked it. Sun Dong was shocked and said, "You kid are hiding your skills?" Chang Feng smiled apologetically and said, "It's not that I'm hiding my skills, but I really don't want to use my weapons. to deal with this alien, and I have to save my energy for fists and feet. But now, obviously I don't have to save it. He raised his leg and kicked fiercely. A knife flew out and directly cut a deep wound on an alien, causing the alien to scream wildly in pain. The lone wolf did not speak, he just kept fighting at the forefront silently. The fierce fighting became more and more intense. Knowing that they had won the final victory, especially after several reincarnations knew that they could return at any time, they no longer had any last concerns. They all took out their best abilities. For a time, their momentum soared, and the iron-blooded alien was defeated step by step. Lone wolf, take the gun. Suddenly, a loud shout came from behind. A gun about half the length of an adult's arm, and with a strange style was thrown over. The lone wolf caught it, and hung it on his shoulder. Turning around, there was a loud bang. A ball of light blasted out. The iron-blooded alien rushing in the front was directly blasted into pieces. Then a soft whip came out from behind the crowd and directly entangled another iron-blooded warrior. Lin Bin ran to the front like lightning. His right arm drew a circle from the chest to the outside, clenched his fist, and twisted his forearm. He blasted out with a moving hammer, and directly blasted the iron-blooded alien out. He pulled the alien whip in the palm of his hand hard. The iron-blooded alien flew backwards, and broke into two pieces. He quickly threw the weapons in his hands to several teammates. The one for Zukan was the most powerful plasma cannon. When facing Lei Jun, he specially threw an amber and shouted, "Brother Lei, put on the iron blood armor, you don't have to worry about the blood of the aliens. I understand, ha 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 ha, the time for me to show my power has finally come." Lei Jun took the armor, and before he could react, the black armor directly covered his entire body. He looked down in surprise, and laughed in surprise. The whole person rushed into the group of aliens, as if he was in an empty space, and roared, "Damn bastards, I have endured you all the way, cry, scream, and then die." He held an iron blood alien in each hand, and pierced the ground fiercely. For a moment, the momentum was unparalleled! Exclamation mark. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.